morning. Hi guys. I accidentally cleared out chat, so I think Boss and who else was here? Someone else was here, and I already lost it. Who else was it? Nah, I don't remember. Hi again. Hi, Boss. Someone else was here though. Who else was here? Oob. Oob was here. Hi, Oob. Thanks much. Thank you so much for the resub. What's up, Omega? Sorry, I can't talk. Exactly at midnight. Hi from Sri Lanka. At midnight, it's 10:30. Is there anywhere in the world where it's not like an hour difference? It's a half an hour difference in Sri Lanka? No way. I didn't forget about you. Okay, I did a little bit. I just couldn't remember who I read two names. I couldn't remember who they were because it's been like 10 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't know. For me, it's midnight. What? That's wild. That's what? Why does that like break my brain so much? A handful of places. Sri Lanka is one of them. Your UTC plus 530. That is weird. How did I not know that? How confusing is that? Like, that's got to be like extra confusing. Maybe not if you live there, but like if you're traveling between time zones, because then like it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose an hour when I go across, when I get across the time zone border or whatever, But if you're like, oh man, I lost half an hour, like that's so confusing. That's dumb. I'm in PST, Pacific Standard Time, so it's 10:30 a.m. for me. That's so weird though. I think in Canada and Newfoundland, it's a half-hour difference. Weird. It's weird that I didn't know that. It's weird because, like, in my brain, all the time zones are just, like, split, like, lines all the way down the globe, right? And that's not really the case, apparently, because I've traveled quite far east. In fact, I just traveled as far east in the United States as I've ever been last week for my vacation. We went to Arkansas to see family. And there's no time zones where it's like, oh yeah, now you're half an hour ahead. That's weird. Yeah, I bet almost everyone in here is at the half hour mark. Anyway, welcome in, guys. It's already pretty busy in here, which is cool. That's nice. So I just turned my computer back on yesterday. And didn't realize this till this morning, but my chat that I use, it's this app called StreamerBot. I don't know. It's the best app I found that use so I can see YouTube and Twitch chat at the same time. And it was just randomly uninstalled, just missing from my computer. It was like, this program can't be found, and I'm like, what happened? I did empty my recycle bin yesterday, which did have 100 gigs worth of stuff in it, so I was like, I wonder what happened there. So I wonder if I dumped like the folder in there or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it was still running. Anyway, wait. Oh, YouTube still says MMO development. Wait, I thought I changed it. Oh, I didn't change Twitch. Sorry. Hold on. Oh, I can't change Twitch on here. Why can't I change Twitch anymore? That's weird. I used to be able to change it right here. I don't know what happened to my window. We're not working on MMO today. In fact, oh, I didn't open that. Is it? I don't know. I'll have to do it on Twitch, I guess. I'm slowing down a little bit on the MMO thing because I have other priorities I need to work on. Especially this month because we have Frostfall coming out. I'm trying to get some bugs fixed on the skill trees. That's what we're working on today. So yeah, today is not MMO development, but yes, we are still in delusional MMO development mode for the most part. Though I haven't touched it since before vacation. And I was actually, there's a Black Friday sale going on for 3D Coat today. It's like $250 instead of the $350 or four something I was gonna spend, $450 I think. So I was like, that's a really good deal, and I was gonna buy it. And then I found out that a good chunk of the money was donated via Super Chat via YouTube, right? And I was like, well, that'll get paid out soon, so I can afford to buy that because I have a little bit of extra money that I could use for that. Not so much anymore. Christmas is coming up. I have other priorities, and that money is kind of spent now, unfortunately. But then I realized that Super Chat via YouTube takes 30% of donations, which means that $300 donation I got like 2 weeks ago that's up there right now, I need to change that. It's actually only $200, $210. And that pisses me off. Not because like I lost money, but because YouTube is already making so much money, they really need to take 30% of your donations. Like 30%? That's a ridiculous number. That is so stupid. Like, nowhere else is it okay to take 30%. Well, I guess Steam. Steam can take 30%. But they market for me. YouTube doesn't do any marketing for me. Well, I guess they do a little bit. But still, regardless, I don't know. I still call that. I still call BS on that. Anyway, we're working on skill trees for Swords of Magic today. Done. There. Anyway, yeah, okay, so we're working on that. That's effing absurd. See, I agree. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It is absurd. Okay. That's fixed. Now, what else did I need to do? I had something else I need to do. I don't remember. I think we're good to go. I think we can start working. I have a handful of bugs that have come in last week. I don't think any of them were like huge deals. One person said that they were in the tutorial talking to Zugrum and they hit unstuck. And then now the box won't drop for them. But it says now the Zugrum doesn't drop the box for breaking the crystal. There's no box that breaks the crystal, so I think they just are misremembering how the tutorial works and expecting something different. I don't know. I don't like clicking unstuck there wouldn't change anything. You can sit there for an eternity, and eventually the box, like, you just walk back over and the box drops again, and then you just break the box and talk to him. So I have no idea what's wrong. They also said that when they unstuck, they end up back in the cell, but they don't have the key or a lockpick to open the cell again. But the door stays unlocked permanently. Like, you can literally go back to the tutorial like 100 hours in and go unlock, and like the door's just unlocked still. Once a door is unlocked in the game, it's pretty much always unlocked for you, minus a handful of situations. Anyway, so I think this is a operator error bug. I feel like we'd be getting a lot more bugs with that. The biggest and most important bug here that I really want to fix is the inventory freezing. I do not know what is causing it. I have been digging and digging and I cannot figure it out. But yeah, in multiplayer especially, I think only in multiplayer, if you are not the host, actually you might be the host too, on dedicated servers for sure, and also as a client, connecting to other player. Randomly your inventory just hangs, especially when you're using like processors, and I have no idea why that's happening. I need to fix that. Yeah, I feel like our testing team and enough people have gone through the tutorial recently that I just do not think that is a real bug. Anyway, oh, there's a notification on this I missed. So yeah, here's another issue. So there's another issue with our ramshackle flooring, that people didn't like that the snap point was in the center of it because it was difficult to snap places. But if I change it, then everyone in the game who has used that snap point to place their flooring now has to go pick up all their flooring and move it all, because it's all going to be shifted over by half the space. I changed it But now I'm thinking we need to change it back. That sucks. Anyway, yeah, Lopin, thank you so much for the praise there on the MMO development. I don't know if we can pull it off. But the thing is, I don't know. Lately I've been kind of questioning a little more, like trying to decide, is this really something that we should be doing? Because it would be nice to have some money, and like Jana is working and making enough money to cover our core bills, but Swords of Magic, like last month I just paid us out for last month through Steam, and we only made like, I think it was like 800 something total. That's net, like that's like nothing, you know, like $800 a month is not enough money to pay for anything. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of rough. It's been kind of rough over here, but not trying to complain. I'm very happy with where we're at. It's just I need to be focusing on other things. We are still in talks with the publisher about Seeking Adventure, and I'm fingers crossed that actually like goes through here soon. We're waiting for a response from them again. Publishers are very, very slow to get like balls rolling, which sucks. Yeah, this is the same thing that happened last time with Swords of Magic, is it just went back and forth for like ever, them asking for more information and us sending it immediately, and then them waiting for like a month to be like, we didn't get that information, and we're like, yeah, we did. We sent that information right away, like within 24 hours we sent it back to you. So yeah, this one they're not waiting on us, we're waiting on them to like review the game and see if they want to like go further with it. We asked for a little bit of funding this time around, which I was kind of opposed to at first, but I was like, you know what, if they're willing to do funding, that pays for all the development costs that we were going to be like forking out of our own pockets, you know. So that would be nice. Anyway, yeah, sorry. It's not complaining at all. Everyone needs to make a living. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I just feel like when I complain about me needing to make a living when I do this for a living, it's not like fair, because like many people are working at, you know, shitty 9-to-5 jobs and not be able to make a living, and I'm like making video games, and I could not easily, but I could go get a job if I needed to. Like a job, like a standard job. Anyway, okay, let's get some skill tree stuff done. I have a list of skill tree bugs. I have 14 of them specifically. The first one is Battle Cry. Let's open up our skill list. Some of these are not implemented, so don't like get excited about them. In fact, many of these are like, especially the Mystic ones, are like duplicated and that like don't work. We also need to double check the Mystic stuff. Okay, we're looking for Battle Cry. When you crit, you let out a Battle Cry, boosting the focus of you and nearby allies for 10 seconds, or by 5 for 10 seconds. Sure, we'll test this with 2 players. We'll wait forever for it to open up. I was actually... Oh, ad break starting. What's up, Orca? Long time no see. How are you? I think I saw you in Maz's stream the other day. The first time I open this, it takes so long. Not too bad just sitting down for the day to work. Just need to build that motivation up. Yeah. Yeah. I know how you feel. You guys do MMOs? Well, I'm back working on Swords of Magic this week because I need to get there's an event coming out this month, and I'm hoping to get skill trees finished and launched them as like a surprise like Christmas update that we weren't planning on doing. So we're gonna try to knock out some of the bugs and see if they're polished up enough to launch. Here's our second player. But yeah, the MMO development is a little crazy, and I've been kind of second guessing it this week or last week. So we'll see how far that goes. But as of right now, I think we're just gonna be tinkering with it, just kind of chipping away slowly. Moz has actually got a lot of work done on it already, so I don't want to like throw anything away. I just kind of, it might be slowing down a little bit while I figure out a better, more lucrative way to make money through game dev. Okay, this is saying that Battlecry doesn't actually let out a cry. We need to give ourselves the ability. Where is Battlecry? There. Okay, we have Battlecry. We need a high crit chance. Let's just cheat. I think 65 is enough crit. Let's equip wooden sword. I didn't see. Looks good to me. That's a client. Let's go make sure it works. Oh, these guys can't move because there's no navigation. Make sure this looks right on for the server. It does. Does the server get bonus stats? 15 focus. Yep. Oh yeah, I guess I could have seen it on the bar. Let's double check that that works on the bar. Oh, they're seeing on the bar. I'm not seeing it on my bar. I'm 16 focus though. I think I'm actually getting the effect, but I'm not seeing it on my bar. Well, that sucks. I don't know why that would be happening. Let's go look it up, I guess. Just make friend slap games. You know, I was honestly thinking about it. I'm not sure what kind of friend slap game to make, but hey, what's up, Moz? Let's see, montage to play. Triggering but on cooldown. Apply effect. I mean, it's being applied, so I don't know why the buff wouldn't be showing up on the bar. Hey, good morning. He's on the stairs. Laying on the stairs? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we're applying affect the target actor. I think, and this says display buff. It's happening on the server. Let's open this up. We'll just put a breakpoint in here, I guess. Why are we zoomed in so much? I forget where I'm doing this now. I don't think it's happening here. I don't think this applied buff, display buff does anything here. It doesn't do anything here, so I don't know why it's even in here. And now we're frozen. There it goes. Oh wait, maybe we were. Oh. Okay. This is just a different... The buff is now being handled all, I think, locally. This is what happens when you take like a few weeks off on a project. Easier to make, and they do pretty well financially. But yeah, it's coming up with the idea for one. Yeah. I'm sure I could come up with some ideas. Just kind of like steal elements from other Friendslop games. I have not played Peak yet. That one's pretty interesting. And I feel like Peak would be, you know, a month of development. No, it'd probably take longer than that, but still. I don't know, maybe something like that. Let's go look at, yeah, where would that be happening at? Probably on our, maybe here, maybe the HUD. What are you working on lately, Worka? I should probably get rid of this threat thing right here. I don't think that's happening here. Pretty sure it's not happening in a widget. That'd be pretty stupid. So where is it happening? Player controller, maybe? Maybe player component? Can you max my haunting stuff? Mostly lobby stuff for it. But also been doing live concert visuals and stuff for Deadmau5. That's awesome. Congrats on that gig. Yeah, so I have a mega grant. I'm not sure if you do for hauntings. And so I'm in the mega grant Discord. And when I joined, when they like first started it, because they'd like given out mega grants before they opened the Discord, and they opened it up. You co-own your game studio with him? Oh. Okay. That's cool. I didn't know that. But, well, yeah, okay. This story is not as interesting then. At all. Well, it wouldn't have been. It's just interesting to you anyway. But anyway, he was in the Discord, and I was like saying hi or whatever and chatting, and he was chatting, and I was like, I never thought I'd be like, even like digital shoulders, like brushing digital shoulders with like Deadmau5. This guy I thought that was kind of wild. I don't know why. That's cool though. He's good friends with most of Epic. Yeah, he has he got a mega grant, so he was in the Discord with the mega grant recipients with me. But thought that was weird. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people in there too with like really big like projects that were like also chatting that I just didn't recognize immediately. Anyway, this is the buff thing, so there's an issue here and I don't know what it is. Wait, are things broken here? Why is there not a server connection? Oh man. No longer replicated because this happens locally. That's fine. The problem is that I don't think this is triggering. Okay, let's look for this thing, I guess. Let's make it purple, I guess, instead of green, so we don't get confused with this one. I'm not excited about this. This is gonna... I'm a little worried because this is like, I built this already and this was working, so I don't know why this wouldn't be working suddenly. What? What did I didn't change anything. Oh yeah, I did. Never mind. I know what I did. I know what I broke. I don't know if this even does anything now. I don't know what this is. It's fine. I don't have one, but I'm sure we could get one if we wanted for the hauntings. Yeah, probably. He's just finding stuff for now. That's cool. How did that come about? How did you end up partnering with Deadmau5? That's crazy. Need to get me a famous person to partner with, I guess. Was it not? Was the player component? Probably. This might be a bunch of places. I should have just not touched this. You know, no, this is probably a good though, because I'm probably using that in a bunch of places where I shouldn't be trying to set the buff via that node, since it doesn't do anything anymore. Oh, it was right here. I could just click that. Met him on Twitch like 4 or 5 years ago. He was doing UE stuff, and I just yelled at him enough, and a friendship formed. That's cool. Started the studio officially as of April this year. Oh, that's huge. That's cool, man. So, is he working on hauntings with you, or? So wait, but you co-own a studio. Is he? I mean, he's working in Unreal, obviously. But yeah, is hauntings part of that studio, or is that this is a different studio? We both worked on our Meowington simulator that we released in April, but I am solo on the haunting. So okay, cool. It's under the new studio though, just waiting to hire artists. You might do sound design for the game though. Nice. What kind of artists do you need? For the wait, you're looking for artists for the hauntings? Wait, I'm confused. No, you said that's solo. Yeah, that'd be cool. Him doing sound design, I mean. Pretty much everything, modelers, animators. What kind of what kind of art are you looking for? Is it for the hauntings? I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself. For the studio overall hauntings or what other projects we do? I'm pretty rusty with like AAA art stuff, but I might be looking for work here soon, so. Did we fix them all? That was annoying and probably not worth the effort. What's up, Squarepeg? Welcome in. Plus live show stuff. Cool. Yeah, if you're looking, I mean, if you have a place to apply or something, I might be interested in doing that. Oh, nice. Okay. I have no idea what the crash is from. He just finished up his last big show of the year, so it's sort of his off season, so we should be getting into more business stuff soon. Cool. Gotta update our website to add applications soon. Yeah. I will keep an eye out, I guess. I'm definitely more stylized, low poly stuff, but I've been getting more into back into like PBR stuff lately and sculpting stuff. I actually just kind of came up with a new, or kind of established a new workflow for like sculpting that I'm pretty excited about. Using my iPad. What's up, lady? Okay. Waiting for Unreal to open back up because it just crashed on me. Bye. I'd say the more skills you have, the better. I can easily see us jumping from the hauntings to some friend slot thing. Yeah, that would be fun. Biggest advantage in UE is experience. Yeah, well, for sure. Are you guys looking for UE devs too, or just artists? You said something about that. Modelers, animators, VFX, etc. I assume you'd be handling most of the UE stuff. Mostly artists for now. I'm pretty quick with UE dev stuff. Yeah, that's what I found too. Is like people are always like looking to help with UE stuff, and it's like, yeah, but for most indie things, like it's so quick and easy to knock something out. Like you don't really need multiple devs on a project anymore. Like with an MMO, obviously, like it's really helpful to have someone doing like backend stuff and someone doing more front end stuff like level design and like content development and stuff like that. But just suck at art. Well, I have a degree in it. I haven't used it in a while for like complex stuff, but smaller scale teams, it's easier to have fewer programmers if one person knows how it all works, basically, and moves faster. I found, yeah, for sure. I was actually outlining an Unreal Blueprint program thing that I'm going to pitch to Game Dev TV to try to get a thing going over there. And I was working on that yesterday, and I was thinking about like teams and stuff, because I want to do like a capstone like game jam thing for the end of the program. I think would be cool, so everyone kind of just like jams out a little like prototype project or something, just so they have like, this is meant for like beginners, so it'd be like a a nice like culmination of all the skills you learn through the whole project, or through the whole program. And I was thinking about like whether it should be teams or not, and I was like, 9 times out of 10, like doubling your amount of like developers on a project like might give you 30 to like 50% more development speed. It like is not like, it's not a one-to-one correlation at all. And I've been on many teams or many projects, especially game jams and stuff, where adding more people on slowed down development because it just complicated things. And then you have like people like butting heads or overriding people's work and stuff like that. It's just, or multiple people doing the same thing over again and then having to decide which one you keep. It's just annoying. So yeah, I mean, most of the time it's not worth having a second developer on a small team for a small project. I mean, and blueprints are just so fast. You use blueprints, right? I think I saw you were doing the hybrid approach now, C++ backend stuff. Yeah. That's the way to do it. I haven't gotten into that yet. Moz has embraced it. Pretty much everyone, everyone I used to like when we all kind of like started streaming and stuff, like a lot of us on Unreal, most people who used to just do blueprints have all switched to C++ and blueprints. I have not done that yet. Probably because I've been stuck on this stupid project, Swords and Magic. I need to get this dumb thing finished. If it ever opens. I was actually kind of hyped to get back in and work on Bone Reach this week. That's the last zone. But then I remember we have skill trees to do, and I have Frostfall to get out, and I have a bunch of Kickstarter stuff I still need to finish up. So I'm not sure if I want to dive into that yet. Used to do it a lot, but when I started streaming it, I used mainly BP for viewers to follow along better, but now I just want efficiency. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess that checks out. And yeah, I would say for streaming, I don't even know. I think because a lot of people who watch Unreal streams, I think they are pretty much beginners. I think Blueprints is a smart move if you're trying to build up your stream, but where you're at now, it's like not important. What's up, Weenish? Personally, I think working in a team as a dev is a skill. If you learn it, you definitely move faster than alone. Yeah, I think you're right, 100%. But I still think it depends on the project too. And it also depends on like the team direction and like leadership, right? Because if you have like two people just butting heads because not like no one's taking charge or there's not someone in charge, then yeah, you're gonna slow down. C++ and UE have found horrible. Building the project to make changes is a pain. I know there's live coding, etc., but it comes with so many bugs. I agree with you. The compile workflow and stuff with C++ is honestly the main reason I don't like touching it. I guess I should have saved before I did this. This is... I swear if this crashes again, man. Did that not delete? Yeah, we didn't save it. I don't think it mattered though. I usually prefer a code heavy approach too. Yeah, honestly I think the C++ workflow is pretty heavy on friction. Like there's a lot of friction in it for me. But you can't argue with the efficiency and like performance. Okay. Let's see. Nope, this one's broken again too. I didn't say this either. I think when we start hiring more programmers, UE devs, I want to move to more of a management role. Yeah. Good idea. I always kind of thought that was gonna happen for me too. Like with Swords and Magic, when it started kind of blowing up, in my brain I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna bring on some more devs, and then like it'll just keep growing because we're just going to get more and more people involved, and it's because like it's going to get shared around because it's a multiplayer game and that happens usually, not usually, but sometimes. And then I thought because it was going to keep growing, I would just start a new project when I got bored and just manage that team to keep working on Swords and Magic. Like I'd just replace what I was doing with someone else, you know? And then I just started a new project, and I was like, this is like how we're going to snowball this into like a studio, and it's going to like grow and we'll be like a bigger like AA studio churning out games. And I was so excited about that. That did not happen. I think the problem was I just moved too fast and we didn't make enough progress. We brought too many people on and ran out of money. Also, like it's weird because like as an indie dev, like even now, even to this day, like I see like funding and stuff, like how much money it costs to make a game or whatever, and I'm like laugh at that, you know, because it's like whatever, I can do all that stuff for free. I can knock out a game in like 6 months and make money. I don't need to pay any money, you know, like my budget is basically zero for whatever game I want to make. But then like with funding for Swords and Magic, it was like we asked for Kickstarter funding to like pay devs, and the second you bring another dev on, you gone from like $0 a month, you know, well, I mean, you should be paying yourself, right? Which I haven't done in years pretty much. But like you should be paying yourself. But yeah, you go from like basically $0 a month or whatever you're paying yourself to, you know, like 3 to 5K a month, depending on like what that dev is worth and what you're paying them or whatever, or what you can afford and what they're okay with. And yeah, like that number is just escalates so fast. Like it just blows up, and pretty soon you have like 5 people on your team and you're like, oh, all of the money is going to this team now, and now the studio's not making any money anymore. And it's like you just really severely underestimate funding when you have to bring other people on. And that was my downfall for sure. But lesson learned. Okay, what is going on here? Did we not just fix this? Oh, I wasn't plugged in. That's why I didn't. Okay. Let's save everything just in case this does crash. Oh no. I hope that all these don't have errors now. I wonder if I should just restart. Because all of these probably had links to those, and that's probably why we crashed. Let's cancel this. I don't know if this works how like structs do. I hate to do this. We're gonna restart and not save any of these. With a struct, if you change something like this, then you just like save the struct and then you restart the engine and let it like, you don't save everything that the struct touches. You just let it like refresh itself when you restart the engine. And I'm wondering if because I changed those input nodes, if restarting the engine will just fix that. I'm really hoping it will, because if I have to go through every one of those blueprints, I'm going to be here for an hour doing this. This is why development on this project is so damn slow. You just got to partner with a rich musician. You know, that was a method that I didn't consider that when I started. Subsystems are bae. Yeah, I really like subsystems too. I think the more modular your project, the better. Yeah, for the most part. A bit weird in multiplayer sometimes though. There's some things in C++ that is just nicer to implement. Something that is like 20 nodes in BP can be done in one line in C++. Yeah. Gotta get you out of UE4. Yeah, this is the only project I work on in UE4, and I would love to move it to UE5, but it's not worth it at this point. So Swords of Magic is basically a house of cards at this point, like a massive castle of cards, not even a house anymore. And what happens is, as soon as I like touch one card that isn't at the very top, then everything above it basically topples down, and I have to sit and rebuild the whole thing. And because it's such a freaking nightmare now and such a mess, like we have dependency chains that are like hella long, because we didn't really understand dependencies building this from the beginning. We just didn't know that was like a thing that mattered. And so we had to like refactor a bunch of stuff in the first place, but we still have dependency chains that are too long. And UE5 does not put up with that. So if we try to switch to UE5, we have a bunch of like errors because of that. And so, yeah, it's just not compatible with UE5. Not without fixing them all. And I don't have the time to do that. We're going to open these. We're going to hit play again and pray to the game dev gods that Unreal does not crash on us. That's what I'm trying to avoid with the hauntings, hence why I have remade it like 5 times. Yeah, and yeah, when Maz left the team, he was actually in the middle of rebuilding everything from the ground up again as well, but we just decided that it wasn't worth rebuilding again, because we'd already done so much and the game was already out. So we just decided we're just gonna go with the foundation we have and finish up the game. And that was years ago. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay, maybe this is the only one. Yeah, I broke... Man, I really should have done this. Somehow the tooltips I left behind. How does this have a compiler now? The thing is, like, when I redid this, all the buff tooltips now don't come from these anymore. So like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I touch one thing and it like breaks everything because these are all like hooked in everywhere. And this would have been fine just to leave, but it's just clutter that like I would have just been assuming that I can plug in a tooltip there everywhere, and it doesn't work. So like I'm just cluttering up the project by keeping that kind of stuff. But when I go to fix it, it breaks everything. I'm probably gonna get more errors pop up. Oh, or we're just gonna crash. Oh, we're good, maybe. Knock on wood. Finally. Hey, what's up, Soupy? Send it to me, I'll fix it. Give me a month. Send you Swords and Magic, and you'll fix all of our issues? You know, Maz, I'm not gonna lie to you. When we were talking about the MMO stuff recently, I was actually thinking like maybe I should just ask Maz if he wants to just help finish like wrap up Swords and Magic. I don't, but the thing is, like, there's not a whole lot of like programming stuff needed left. Like, it's all pretty much done. It's mostly just like knocking out like new enemies for Bone Reach, getting in like a final boss fight in, which I'm not excited about, and then doing dungeons. And dungeons are actually like mostly ready to go. It's all pretty simple stuff. But yeah, that's kind of why I decided. I was like, I'm not even gonna ask him because I don't think that I need it. UE5 port? Oh my god, I don't think it'd be worth it, man. I just want to be finished with it. Like, I'm so ready to just be like, okay, this game is done. 1.0, here we are. And I do think it's gonna make a decent chunk of money at 1.0. Like, I think a lot of people who were like waiting to play it will like, oh, this game finally launched. Let's check it out. And also, our movement speed is so slow. It's because I'm overweight, but still, I'm tempted to increase the. Is our backpack not working? Yeah, it is. Anyway, I'm tempted to really increase the primary or the default walking speed. Let's spawn a different backpack in. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's worth. It's kind of crazy slow. I don't remember it being this slow. Anyway, let's check to see if we actually still have our warrior skills. We do. We were doing all of this just to see if that buff was going to show up and look for a print string. Also, this is not the client, and that's what we do need to test. Console port? I mean, I don't think we can get it to run on any consoles. Is the problem. It doesn't run very well on a high-end PC. We get a lot of people complain that like they're like, I can play, I don't know, Tarkov or whatever at 60 FPS, but I play your game and I only get 45 FPS. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know, like, you know how many people work on Tarkov, like, or like whatever game this is. I actually think it was a more AAA game than Tarkov. It was like way up there. And I'm like, yeah, dude, they probably have like 30 people on their like performance team. We have one person on our entire team. Yeah, I don't know. I really just want to like wrap this up. I've been telling Jana, I said maybe we should just like get skill trees done and then just be like, here's the 1.0 update. It's done. This game is finished. We might add a new zone as a DLC and then just move on. Because I'm just so done with it. And I just feel like I need to wash my hands of this before I can like move on. Because like every time I start working on or moving on to another project, I start getting like really guilty or feeling really guilty that I'm not working on this. Especially since the entire Discord is like built around this. Not that I want it to be, but it just is. So I'm like, I don't know. All right, let's go crit and see if this works this time. I hate this game. I'm so done with this goddamn game. Ah. What is the biggest bottleneck for finishing this game? My motivation. I don't know. I think the reason it's not finished yet is just because I really overpromised a lot on accident. And like a lot of the stuff that like Bone Reach was always promised that was supposed to go in, and like that's not really a problem. The problem is that I promised, like we started building all these features, right? We have all these like different crafting mechanics. We have like a bunch of different enemies and like combat stuff. We have like a skill tree now, which is like, why did we ever decide a skill tree was a good idea? I don't know. Like, honestly, the skill tree should just be scrapped. Like I know it's like finished, but this is like sunk cost fallacy at this point, and I know like deep in my soul to just like that I should just say no. This game does not need a skill tree. Just dump it. Like cancel it. It's not even finished. That's the thing. Like it's finished up to level 35, but when Bone Reach comes out, you can go up to level 50, and then I have to add all those like 15 more levels worth of skills. And like again with the House of Cards, every time I touch one of those skills, it breaks everything else. So it's like, oh my god, it's such a pain in the ass. I feel that Hauntings feels like a cloud over my head. Yeah, big same on the guild. Yep. At least like the Hauntings isn't out yet though, right? Like Swords of Magic is out in early access, so like I have like an audience that like paid for this and are expecting this to be finished. And part of me is like, yeah, but like what I promised originally is like 20% of what the game is now, and it's still not finished. But it's like the core, like some of the core things like having Bone Reach and actually a finished storyline are not finished yet, and those are the only things I feel like I have to finish before the game can launch. But I keep adding more stuff because those core things I don't want to do yet, and I don't know why. I need to talk to my therapist. I don't have a therapist. I need to get a therapist. It's not out, but I have a pretty big wish list and community built for it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still feel you. Like I have another game out on Steam that's not out yet. Sorry, it's on Steam waiting to launch, called Seeking Adventure, which is much smaller. I wonder why I crashed. I should check logs probably. I remember where to go to check logs for that. Oh man, is it stupid for me to just hit play again and just see if this just breaks again? I might need to revert everything I just did. This is so dumb. Have you thought about a course for art? Swords of Magic style looks very professional yet approachable for someone with technical background. I have. So I like to work with Game Dev TV. So my wife works for them, and I like the way they do their courses and everything. And the people who make the courses make decent money, I've heard. And I actually have made a course for them before. It was just a short like one-off thing. It was like an hour or 2 hour long course or something, and that course got pretty bad reviews because it was kind of lackluster and like a last minute thing. We didn't really do a lot of planning for it, and it was when UE5 was first coming out, and I basically just learned the absolute like bare minimum for what I was doing for the course on, and then taught that course, and basically did it live. It was kind of a mess anyway, but it did like 40,000 plus people have like downloaded it, right, and like paid for it. Most of them paid for it. I think some people got it for free and stuff. I think that's what it was last time I checked. But anyway, yeah, it's sort of like, obviously there's like, you know, potential there to make it like a good course on GDTV, but there's also like already a bunch of art courses and stuff on there, and I just feel like doing another low poly course might not be. Thank God. Look, the buff came up. It didn't crash. I don't know why the buff didn't show up last time. Oh wait, this is client. I don't know. But I feel like that was a whole like wild goose chase for no reason. And you see a pretty noticeable difference in damage too. At least 1 to 2 points right now, which is not crazy with a wooden sword, but it would be crazy at like level 35 with like doing like 30 plus damage hit. Anyway, it's working. Yay. Okay, well, I can mark that one off. How long have we been live? An hour already, and I marked off one of the 14 issues. And I don't think I even fixed anything with that issue. I just broke something and then fixed that. Like, had nothing to do with that. Anyway, but yeah, I'm actually, so yeah, Lopin, I'm not, I don't know. I actually was talking to them about doing a course for art. Oh yeah, this is the biggest issue. Here's the biggest issue with art. I use Maya, which I pay 250 something dollars a year, I think, for the indie license. And Game Dev TV mostly uses free software. So if I wanted to do a course for Maya, I did actually try working with them on a course for Maya, and I really don't like making videos. So probably that was like the biggest reason why I just gave up on it, because I don't know. It's just a huge pain, and it's like the workflow for me is not very easy to, like, I don't know. And also we were already kind of doubting it anyway because it's Maya, and we're like, I know a lot of people are like, well, why would I use Maya when it's a paid software when I can just take the Blender course instead, which is completely free, and I'll learn that. And then, then once you know Blender, you can pretty much use Maya if you need to in like a studio setting or whatever, if you know the fundamentals of art. And I don't want to teach Blender because I don't know Blender well enough, and I feel like there's already like that spot's already taken in Game Dev TV. So it's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to do an art course, though I would love to do one for Maya. I just don't know where to do it, and I don't think it's very approachable because a lot of people don't use Maya. But yeah, I am, though, however, outlining a program, not really I guess it's like a course, but it's like a longer winded program course, bunch of courses, I don't know, put together in like a big long program thing for something else. I have to pitch it still. I have no idea if it's ever going to go anywhere, so I'm not going to like hype it up, but I've been kind of like planning out a potential program to teach like Unreal blueprints. I wish there was an Unreal version with the UE427 renderer, but the UE57 editor and tooling, the UE4 editor is so ass. Yeah, I actually agree. Basically, when I open up a UE5 project, you can set your default graphic settings to scalable, and I believe that turns, I could be wrong, I think that turns off Lumen automatically. If it doesn't, you can also just go in and switch everything from Lumen, and you get pretty much the same of you've got pretty much what UE4 does. But yeah, I agree. I think Lumen is actually pretty ugly. If you don't, you have to set it up like really well. So I was using it in another project for a game jam, which I got second place in and won like $3,000, which was awesome. Actually, I think it was $5,000. And that was cool. But that project, I was trying to use Lumen because it was like the whole scene or the whole game took place in one apartment. So you were just walking around between like 3 different rooms, and that was it. And I had Lumen turned on, and I thought, well, I'm going to crank the graphics because it's just taking place in one room. I did all the art myself, so it's all low poly art. All like 90% of it was all a single texture atlas, so it was like one 256 texture, maybe it was a 512 texture for like everything. So it was like, this is super light and performance, so I can crank up like the lighting and stuff, and it'll be great. No, I was losing like 30 to 40 FPS just by having Lumen on in that one room, and I could not figure out why it was doing that. Like I had like 4 lights in the room. Like I had like a light in like the kitchen area, and a light in the hallway, and a light in like the living room, and I think that was it. Oh, and then a light from like the TV. But I think I was just using what's it called? The my brain. Emissive lighting. Sorry. I was just using emissive lighting for that, so it wasn't even like a full, like an actual light. And yeah, I was getting like 30 frames per second, and I could not figure it out. And as soon as I turned off Lumen, I went back up to like 80, 90 frames per second, easy. So just turn on forward shading. I personally like Lumen for my stuff. I don't know. I couldn't make it look good either. It kept like, like that weird ghosting effect you get with Lumen, where it's like, it just like shows like weird, like artifacts all over the screen. I don't know. I could not make it look right. I don't know. I even like tried doing research and everything. I spent like a full day on like the lighting trying to get that game jam looking good. On like a 2-week game jam, I spent like a full day just trying to get lighting looking right, and I finally just gave up and turned off Lumen, and everything looked pretty much the same, if not better, because it didn't have all the artifacts, and the performance was like double. So I don't know. I'm sure I was doing something wrong. I'm sure it was a operator error, but still. Okay, Enrage can activate every time recovery happens, both natural and trinket, food, etc., and increases focus by a lot more than double. Okay, let's go look at Enrage, because I think we changed this too. GE passive Enrage Warrior. Okay. We decided we couldn't do multiplication for these. Yeah. Wait. Attack power. Scale by 1. Okay, so we must just be pumping in a number then. The reason this doesn't work, or we can't multiply, is because when you multiply by attack power, we have a default attack power that we're set to, and then when we multiply that, we're multiplying that default, or what the current total is, which is not the same number that players see, because the default isn't like considered into like the visuals. This was a huge mistake that we made early on with Gas, where we have like a back end number, and then we like modify that number in blueprints to make like the visual number that players see, like the front end number. And that is a huge problem. We should not have done that. And we should have had like an attack power like score that like actually changes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, and that's what the player sees. And then we could have manipulated what that actually does for damage in blueprint if we wanted to, or made an execution or something for it. But yeah, we didn't do that. So now we have like this weird background number that we can't, like, I can't multiply this. I can only add to it. And when I add things to it, I don't think it's even added by 1. It shouldn't be added by 1 though. Anyway, it should be, this is probably why this isn't working, because it shouldn't just be 1. Because this is gonna, oh. Yeah, this is definitely broken. Okay, let's go look at Enrage. I know why this is broken now. Do you use forward shading for this game? I don't know. I don't remember what we're using for this game. I don't think so. I don't know. I set up lighting literally like 6 years ago for this, 5 years ago for this, and I have not touched it since because I like how it looks and I just don't want to mess with it. So it's been a long time since I set everything up for it. But I remember it took us a while to get it looking right, and now like I'm too afraid to touch it, so I don't touch anything with it. But it looks great. I think it looks great. It's a flatter lighting style, but man, does it increase frame rates. Yeah, maybe it might be worth it to look into it again. I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of amazing what like the frame rate we're able to get with this game. It kind of blows my mind. Just checkbox and project settings. I'll look at it right now. Forward, wait, what's it called? Forward shading? Don't enable it though if it's off. What happens if I click this button? Don't click it. I mean, I can just turn it back off, right? Create a branch first? Yeah, I can just, that's fine. I don't branch though. We don't use branching with plastic. But everything's saved, so I can just revert. Here, let's just do this. We'll just push everything. We'll just push our changes and then we'll do it. Then I can just revert. Come on, plastic, open up. This takes so long to open. Do you guys think it's gonna look like ass? I feel like it's not going to save us any performance. And the reason is because we are very much CPU bound. Like our bottleneck is definitely CPU, not GPU. We have a lot of like tick stuff going on. I have to turn off. Nope. Sorry, one sec. Oh my god. I think for once it's actually not checked out. I can't push the project file because it screws it up for Jana when she works on stuff, so I just have to turn that off, but it looks like it's not even checked out and I'm just being dumb. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm really dumb because I'm on the wrong project entirely. That was Project Campfire. Yeah, there's the project file. Check in. The new E5, I did some testing with forward shading and was getting FPS around 800 to 900. Jesus. Lumen doesn't work in forward shading though. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'll just start doing in my UE5 projects, is just turn that on instantly to get rid of Lumen. I don't know. I'm not that into like AAA looking games, you know? Like I've never really been interested in like making a game that looks like super AAA. Like I guess I have a couple times. Like I made a horror game a while back. And I wanted that one to look really good, so I turned it on there. Or no, that was UE4, so never mind. But I did use more like AAA quality art. Lighting effects are much flatter, like the shadows don't look as good to me. Okay. We're still pushing, so. If it matches the art style, easy performance boost. Yeah, I'll try it. We should take like a screenshot first so I can actually compare. I guess actually if we don't notice the difference, then who cares? It surprises me that this is like gonna be one of those things where you like can't just go back. I don't know. Not that we don't already have like 1,000 screenshots of this game anyway. Okay, there's our before screenshot. I see literally no difference. This might need a restart, but I don't see any difference at all. Do you guys? Realism feels great to create, horrible to play. I think I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I don't want to deal with having to make things look realistic. Like, I'd rather things look stylized and like fun. I guess I said rather play a game like that too, but depending on the game, like like a first-person shooter or whatever, I guess maybe like I'd rather have like more realistic. I don't know. Anyway, I see no difference, so well, yeah, I'm not gonna even be able to tell what the FPS change was because I didn't bother to check that. Should we turn it back off and then test it? Let's just test for now. We'll see if we notice like an impactful difference running around. Like if we feel a difference. I don't think we will. I truly don't, because I think we're more CPU bound than GPU bound. Like I don't think it'll matter at all. But you know, maybe someone who has like a killer CPU will see a difference. I mean, it feels smooth. I would say it feels smoother than it did before. But I mean, it looks good. I mean, that's a... I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a really high FPS for this game while streaming. I mean, we don't have the whole world loaded. This is just a test, like, area, so it's like... But still, we're getting 50 plus FPS in editor while streaming. Let's turn it back off. Might need a restart. Yeah, we might. It might not be changing anything. Yeah, we're getting the exact same. I think it was in my head. Well, I don't know. Now I'm down to like 40. Yeah, it's still about the same. We're like low 50s, high 40s still. Yeah. Okay, let's turn it on and then restart. Why not? Oh yeah, it says right here, restart required. I'm an idiot. It was hidden behind my webcam and my microphone. The editor adds a ridiculous amount of overhead in my experience. My experience of shipping build will get close to double FPS. Yeah, it does. Yep. I don't think it's quite double for our game, but still, it's pretty good. My UE5 tests, I went from around 200 FPS with it off to 800, 900 while on. That's insane. Again, I don't think it's gonna make a big difference if it makes a difference at all, because again, we're CPU bound, not really GPU bound. So, but we'll see. I wish I didn't close that screenshot. I guess I can pull it back up. Pull it back up. Fishy, you're gonna have to recompile your shaders. Yeah. That's gonna take a while. That's okay. Worth testing it. We'll see what happens. And then we have to get back to working on skill trees. It would be cool to get these skill trees done for Christmas. And I have another mini vacation. This one's not going to be as much fun, I guess. I don't know. Later this month, which means I only have until the 18th to get this update out. And that's the day that Frostfall goes live too. If we have time today, we actually can get through all these bugs somehow. Then we will maybe open up Tyrwin and actually turn on Frostfall. We'll just like knock out this whole update. That'd be cool. But I guess we have to stop playing with everything else if we want to get this done. Ad break. Trying to find some old screenshots of the differences I saw. This is the perfect time for an ad, I guess. That's fine. And the ad's over. I think the project recompiling shaders and opening again is tanking our stream too. Anyway, what have you guys been up to? We can show off some... Where is it? Some Project Campfire stuff while we wait. Mosh just sent this video. I haven't seen it yet. All right, this is the cursor one. Yeah. We have aggroing enemies now. You can now... we have a cursor system that like updates the cursor when you hover over certain things. We can select things now. We are very close to working on combat, he says. And we're using C variables. C-vars? C-vars? I don't know what the lingo is for it. Sweet. But yeah, I think we swiped the indicator system from Lyra, which is awesome. This is an older clip where we had the HUD, and obviously animations aren't working in here, or aren't turned on. But yeah, this is just the leashing system. Sweet. This one's a GIF. That's about it. Progress, though. What's this project for? So this one that I'm showing you here is currently it's called Project Campfire. It doesn't have a name yet, but it's an MMO that Moz and I are just started like last month, I think. Maybe the month before, I don't remember now. It's only been in development for a few weeks, really. I'm working on art stuff right now, prepping for like actual characters, and Moz is working on back end stuff right now. So this is what he's doing, just all like gameplay related like stuff. But yeah, the idea is it's very much a classic MMO, like World of Warcraft. It's like an old school MMO, sort of. All of my inspirations for it are pretty much from like classic WoW. So that's the plan. I've linked to an old screenshot I took with forward shading if you want to see. Sure, you can link it. I hope this actually looks good and it doesn't like look terrible, and we don't have to do this again. I mean, I'll just leave it up. I'll probably just leave it alone if it looks bad. We'll just hopefully we actually see a big performance change. This link is with forward shading. I have a lumen shot of the same level. It looks fine to me. This is from a different game, yeah. Yeah, I mean this looks very reminiscent of like, it does look kind of, it does kind of give me like, but I think it's more like the texture, it's not really the lighting. I mean, it just looks kind of like old school. Like it kind of looks like a 2000 like 10 game maybe, but I think that's more of like the textures of the animals, not necessarily the lighting. But yeah, I mean, you know what it kind of gives me vibes for, or gives me it kind of gives me like Switch vibes. Does that make sense? Like it kind of looks like Switch quality. I don't know. It looks fine though. I play nothing but classic WoW. Oh really? Yeah, I same. I just started playing again like 3 or 4 months ago. I think I paid for 3 subs in a row now, which I haven't done in a long time. But yeah, I've been really into it lately. I haven't played since I left for vacation though, so it's been like a week and a half. I haven't touched it. I was actually thinking about canceling my sub for a month and just like taking a break from it, but I might not. I've been leveling a priest. I'm doing holy because I want to do healing. I thought about doing disc, but I think I like holy better. I don't know. But that's what I've been mostly focusing on. Before that, I was doing hardcore and I was playing a rogue, and I got to like level 16 and died. It was a stupid death too. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to do hardcore. The thing is, so I played back in like 2005 when like Burning Crusade first came out. It was right before Burning Crusade came out because I started playing right before, and I was really hyped about the launch. So I played in classic like vanilla. But I only got to like level like 20 or something like that in like classic. And then when Burning Crusade came out, I got to level like 55. I think, or no, I think I was higher than that. I might have been like, I think I was like 58 or something like that. That was like my highest character. But I did a lot of like role play, and I was kind of an altaholic, so I was like constantly like making new characters. And I had a lot of friends who would like jump in and play, and they'd be like, they'd have like brand new characters, so I would just jump in and make a new character with them. So I played a lot of alts. But I never hit like cap level, which I think is 70 in Burning Crusade. I never hit cap level. I never did end game stuff. I only leveled. Yeah, and I remember leveling in Outlands, but not much. So this time around, I was like, well, I'm gonna play hardcore because I want like a challenge. So I did that for like a month or so, on like 2 different characters because I was playing with a friend who usually gives me a hard time for like starting over or like quitting games, and he can like every time we played, he like, I'm kind of bored of this character. I want to make a different character. And I'd be like, okay, let's start again. So we jump on a new character again. So like a whole month we did that, like jumping between like 4 or 5 different characters in hardcore. And then finally, here comes our shaders. But yeah, finally I decided just to switch back to Anniversary Realm because I don't know. I like hardcore, but I don't want it to keep starting over. And since I never actually hit 60 in classic anyway, I kind of want to like do that. But now that Burning Crusade's coming out, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep trying. And then if I don't make it, then when Burning Crusade comes out, I'll use the boost in XP to just make it the rest of the way, hopefully. But yeah. Anyway, TBC comes back in January, speculated time. Yeah, I think it's January. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I've heard January. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about Burning Crusade because I have not played that since 2005, 2006, whenever it came out, which is awesome. But yeah, the idea for this MMO is like, we just want to go back to the roots of like WoW Classic, and but also we want to really push social more, like more social mechanics. We want to do like more events that happen and more like role play features and stuff, just things that like make people not necessarily have to play together, but like push it, you know, like that motivate players to play together. So we'll see what happens, but still think you guys are crazy. I mean, I do too. So my thing is that since I played Guild Wars in like, I don't know, 2003, maybe it was like 2004 actually. I was playing Guild Wars before I switched over to WoW. And then one of my friends finally convinced me to switch to WoW, and I was like, why was I not playing this all along? But that Guild Wars was my first MMO. And I played a few like MUDs and stuff like that too, which I like fell in love with too. But I don't know, since like then, since like high school, I wanted to make an MMO, and every time so I tried an RPG Maker actually, and I had like this plugin that this guy made, like a script plugin, which did like work with online multiplayer, and we had like 8 people playing. using a Hamachi server in Wyoming, which was we had like I lived in like the backwoods in Wyoming. It was we had the worst internet in the world, and somehow we had like 8 people connected. I'm sure they had like 5 frames per second in RPG Maker. It was terrible. But yeah, and that game actually got featured on IGN at the time as like a popular upcoming MMO, which was nuts because like MMOs were just starting to blow up, so there weren't many out there, and so I was like, I can make an MMO, and so we got freaking featured by IGN, and I was like, well, this is it. Here's my big break. I'm gonna be a famous game developer, and I'm gonna make millions off this game. And I was like 17, I think, maybe 18 at the time, and I didn't realize that you couldn't just like rip assets from other games and like steal them from people on the internet to use in your games. So I got a lot of shit for that. And then I realized like also I like wanted to use all these free assets that like were not commercially available because the game was going to be free, so it was going to be okay to just use them. And then I was like, I'm just going to sell DLC and it'll just use the same assets, so you're not paying for the assets. And I was just stupid. I was a stupid kid. Anyway, and then I also had a bunch of people helping me on the game who were like volunteer. There was like 10 people on the team, and no one did anything except me. So anyway, I threw in the towel on that pretty fast. So it didn't actually go anywhere. But yeah, like I've been dreaming about making MMO for a long time. And when I actually learned how to like actually make games for real, and I got out of RPG Maker and actually started using like Stencil and then eventually Unreal Engine, I kept telling myself like, I'm gonna make this game and then this game and this game or whatever. I'm gonna make these games because it's gonna teach me this thing I need to know to eventually make an MMO. And I've been doing that forever. And then when I started working in Unreal Engine and I started making Swords and Magic, I was like, this is going to be a really good stepping stone to making an MMO. And then we switched to online, and I was like, perfect, this is going to teach me everything I need to know, and I can make an MMO next. And I just never did that, and it just slowly just started consuming my life. And I don't know, I don't know if this is like a midlife crisis or what it is, or like midlife like game dev crisis or something, but I've just kind of realized that like if I don't start making the game of my dreams now, the one I've been wanting to make since I was a teenager, like when am I gonna do it? You know, I don't know, like, and if it takes 10 years, so what? Swords and Magic took 7 years to get this far, so why not just invest 10 years in an MMO? And like MMOs I think are like automatically get way more like interest because it's an MMO and like there's just not that many of them and people really like them. And so I figure if we start doing like pay $5 a month on Patreon and you can play like the early alpha builds of this, once it's actually like playable and there's content on it, because we don't want to just take people's money for no reason, then I think like that could fund a little bit of the development. But yeah, my biggest issue with MMOs is that you are putting all your eggs in one basket. Yes, so that scares me too. I'm not super worried about it like flopping, because like if I made an MMO that I think is fun and there's like 10 people playing it, then like that's fine. Like that doesn't really bother me. What I worry about is I don't want to do the same thing with Swords and Magic where I'm like hung up on this game and I can't get away from it, right? And an MMO is 1,000,000% doing that, and I know that. So that's the biggest problem that scares me. But honestly, I actually think the biggest issue, or the biggest like the scariest aspect of this, is server costs. Because an MMO isn't just like, let's launch our game and see if it works. An MMO is, let's launch these servers and keep paying for them every single month and hope that we actually make enough money back to cover the cost of them. And that's like what scares me the most, is because with Swords and Magic, when we ran out of money, we let the team go. We had to, because we couldn't afford to pay them anymore. And that's fine. But with an MMO, like, sure, we can let our team go or whatever if we need to. I mean, hopefully doesn't come down to that. I don't think that'll work. I don't think that'll happen this time around, because I think Miles and I are just gonna do like a revenue split or something. But yeah, like the problem is like if the MMO flops or whatever and we can't afford it, then how are we supposed to pay for the servers? That's the biggest issue for me. My biggest fear would be MMOs die out before you finish making it. Like those games I think have shifted away from MMO. Like most games. I think that there's a resurgence right now. Honestly, I don't know. I'm also like, I think the problem is that it's really hard to tell if like games are getting popular, because you might be in an echo chamber. That was hard to say for some reason. And I think I am. Also, hi Paxian. I will read your paragraph in a second. Sorry. Welcome in. Yeah, it's like I watch a lot of MMO YouTube videos and Twitch streams and stuff like that. And so right now I see a lot of people saying like, well, New World shut down, and like, what are MMO streamers going to be playing? Like people are gonna have to branch from MMOs to like open world RPGs and stuff like that, or like multiplayer games. And like, so I think right now is the perfect time to release like a competent MMO, you know, like a game that's actually fun to play and actually has like a decent amount of content and isn't like, you know, 100% microtransactions, you know, force fed to you by like Tencent or whoever else. I can't think of names right now. Anyway, but like that's what I'm trying to do. It's just like I want to like fill that like gap, I guess. But I've been dreaming about working on an MMO for a long time. The worst thing to happen to my life. I could have been a scientist, a doctor, yeah, game dev crisis, especially with MMO. Not a good combo. Yeah, I'm having a really bad case of procrastination or some kind of contemplation or something that makes it hard to just execute making the MMO. I've kind of broken through actually getting the editor open and getting in and putting in content. Yeah, I feel that. I know exactly how you feel. I've been there too. We're gonna be a while compiling the shaders just to see what this looks like. I guess we could be working on other things in time, but I thought about this a lot back. Hold on. I thought about this a lot back up where the instance world is hosted via peer-to-peer, but instances, dungeons, etc. use a matchmaking system. Could also be peer-to-peer, having this as a fail-safe if profit margins are under server costs. Interesting. A backup where the instance world is hosted via peer-to-peer, but instances, dungeons, etc. use a matchmaking system. Yeah. Indie games are in a golden age right now. AAA games are losing very hard right now. I think it costs millions for triple. I think so. I don't know. I'm kind of also sorry about the low frame rate on the stream right now. It's just because we're compiling the shaders. So if you're, hopefully you can hear me okay, and I'm just low frame rate visually. I don't know if I would say golden age for indie games. I think we've passed the golden age. I think we're definitely in a different age now. I think we're in this age where it's like, oh man, what did I call it? I feel like I coined a term for it, but I forgot what it was now. It was like beyond shovelware. We're in I don't remember what I called it. Whatever, probably doesn't matter anyway. I probably didn't even coin it. But it's like we have so many games dropping right now. So I think what happened is during COVID, a lot of people were like, man, I'm home from my work and I forgot how much I hated my job and I want to like pursue my dream of being a game developer. And so we have like millions of new devs who are like making indie games. And unfortunately, a lot of these indie games are being finished lately and they're everyone's first games, so they're absolute garbage. And they're just being like spattered all over Steam, right? So we have 18,000 plus new games a year. I think last year was 18,000. It was more than 18,000 new games on Steam, and that is an amount that no one can keep up with. It is way too many games coming out every year, and they're all like 90% of them are awful, right? 95% of them probably are just terrible shit games that just probably shouldn't have ever been released. They should have just not finished them or not released them. And I hate to be negative about that, but that's just how it is. Like your first game is going to be bad. And that's what most people, I think most of these games we're seeing right now are everyone's like COVID games that they started and now they're finishing. So that's a bit of a problem. So I don't know if I would call it golden age. I think right now we have so many games to play. Like you can get free games from, we're not free games, but like discounted games from Humble. You can get pretty much free games from, what's it called? The Xbox Live thing, Xbox, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You get free games from Twitch Prime. You get free games from like everywhere, right? So you can basically like fill your entire library with free games like every month. You get free games from Epic. You get free games just all over the damn place. and you get so many of them that you like can't even play them all. And then not only that, but then you're also trying to buy games too, and there's sales going on like every minute. You can buy keys from like shady, you know, key resellers. Like there's so many opportunities to get games, and then there's also torrenting. Like anyone can get a video game in any way they want right now. Like, and there's just so many that you can't keep up with them. So I think everyone's library is just filled with games they'll never play. I literally just bought 5 games for Black Friday because I spent like less than $15 for these 5 games. They were all on my wish list. They're all things that I wanted to play, and I did actually play all of them. Every single one I played so far, and I liked all of them, and I plan on playing most of them again. Worth the money. But yeah, like there's just so many games available that it's like hard to see like indie games as the golden age right now, because only like 0.5% of these, like 0.5% of these games are actually worth playing that are coming out and they're available. And you're competing with like millions of games right now, I swear. Hundreds of thousands of games you're competing with on Steam to like just be seen. So it's really hard to say it's like the golden age for indie games. I think it's if in the sense that like AAA games are falling off because people are sick of their bullshit. I agree. Like AAA studios are the problem, right? Like with their funding mechanisms and stuff like that. Like it's not sustainable anymore because they have to follow a recipe to get their games out in time, and their games out to make money, and it's terrible. So yeah, I agree with that. But I think MMOs have a chance I think indie MMOs have a chance right now to bring that back, I guess. So I'm really rambly today, and I can't even like get a coherent thought together. Anyway, I always get occasional frame stutters. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree. I'm not working on an MMO just to make money or be massively successful. Yeah, same. I mean, like obviously I think everyone wants to make money, and they obviously want to be able to like feed their families and like pay their bills and, you know, like afford a house and a car, you know, like obviously everyone wants that, and I do too. But yeah, as far as an MMO goes, like the idea is like I just want to like create like a massive world that people can like live in, you know what I mean? Like I just want to create the experience that I had as a kid for someone else, and who knows if that's going to be viable or not. But also I also know, and like the game dev part of me or side of me also knows, like I would probably have a lot more fun making a bunch of small games than working on one game for the next 20 years. So I don't know. Also, cost, most AAA titles are $80 plus right now. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I cannot afford. The last time I bought a AAA game, I bought Spider-Man, and I bought Miles Morales because I really liked the first one, so I bought Miles Morales. And I'm pretty sure I bought those for like $20 each, because I will not buy. When was the last time I bought like a AAA price AAA game? I don't know. Years ago, probably. I think it might have been, I don't know, Horizon, maybe Zero Dawn when it first launched. It's been a long time. 10 years ago, making indie games was much harder. Yeah, and it's a golden age in terms of tools available to indie devs. Yes. Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, golden age is an indie game like Megabonk can sweep a general audience that these AAAs have been watering over wanting such a concurrent number of players. Yes, I know what you mean. Yes, and the general gamer audience is looking towards indie much more than in the past. That's true. You're right. Schedule 1, I guess I'm referring to games that go viral. Yeah, AAA or shit. This is completely on topic with what I've been working on. I'll send you a Discord DM later today if you're curious. Sure, Jackson. I am curious. It's just @Kindred on Discord, if you don't know. Is what I meant. Is a golden age for some viral indie games to take the audience. Yeah, but I think like, I don't know. I'm still kind of torn on the idea of calling it the golden age though, because like you have to remember that those viral indie games are like 1 in a million, you know? Like we had 18,000 games launched last year on Steam. How many of them went viral? Like 15, 20, you know? Like it's a golden age for the people who make it, but it's hard to call something a golden age when only a handful of people are prospering, right? Like you wouldn't call, like, I don't know, like if there were only like 2 rich people in America, you probably wouldn't call this like the golden age of America, right? Like I don't know, I feel like you feel partially responsible for delaying the stream now. I mean, I think you are partially responsible, but you know, I have free will. I can do what I want. I could also be working on programming stuff right now. Like, yeah, it'll probably be a little slow, maybe really slow, but I could probably be working on like at least debugging where these issues are. I can't test it probably. I don't think I can hit play and test without some major performance problems, but currently I don't really see a huge difference in lighting yet, but we'll see. It looks fine to me so far, but we'll give it time. Anyway, yeah, Golden Age is not the best word. We did only have a couple of known indie games that made it big this year, and is for the wasteland of the 99% of other games. Well, yeah, it's I actually think it's gonna get worse before it gets better, unfortunately, because not only are we dealing with like all the COVID games, but I think we're also gonna be starting to deal with a huge flood. Oh, that's what I was calling it, as floodware. Like it used to be called shovelware, and I think it's now just floodware. Like now you're just like, it's a flood of games. Anyway, but now we're gonna see a huge flood of AI games, like just churned out AI slop, right? So that's kind of the scary part. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot right now. Like financially, I'm like, man, I should just like release a garbage, like some like not garbage games, but you know what I mean, like some like short, quick, dirty games, whatever, to like make some money. And we have Seeking Adventure who like could like do that. That's like not gonna make a ton of money. I think the goal is like $10,000, pretty much like the first like, you know, couple months, which would justify the time I think I spent. But yeah, now we're waiting on the publisher thing. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like part of me is like I should really just like focus on making like friend slop types games or whatever, and like shorter experiences that are just like making money, because those are the games that go viral, not, you know, open world RPGs. Like these games just like I love these games, and I'd rather spend my whole life working on games like Swords and Magic and like an MMO and stuff like that, because that stuff's like, that's the stuff that speaks to me, and those are the games that I want to play, you know. But those games just don't do well anymore, you know. Like I think we're almost like in this like TikTok age for like video games, right? Like it used to be long form content, and now we're in short form content for video games, you know. Stupid ad breaks. I'm invested in seeing the FPS change, something like Peak. Yeah, something like Peak is cool. Actually, so I was actually playing one of the games I bought for Black Friday was Kingdom 80s. I really like Kingdom. I think it's cool. I wanted Kingdom 80s to be more than it is, but also like that's just Kingdom, I guess. But it was kind of motivating me, and I was thinking about how cool it'd be to make like a summer camp game. You know, I don't even know what the gameplay would be like, but I was just thinking like that's a cool vibe. And I think a lot of people are like, especially like millennials, are kind of nostalgic for the time when there was like summer camps, you know, and like, or like just like neighborhood friends running around playing, you know, and make believe and stuff like that. Because like we don't have that anymore. Kids don't have that anymore. I actually heard the other day someone said, I heard something that like Gen Z is like nostalgic for an era they never had, like a time they never had. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But they're talking about like how millennials grew up with like riding their bikes from the neighborhood, you know, and like having forts in the woods and stuff like that. And Gen Z like don't have that, because like they just chat on Discord. That's like all they do. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that could be kind of a cool direction to go with, like a friend slop kind of game where it's like a summer camp kind of thing or something. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I would be working on slop games, but man, I just can't do it. I'm not literally homeless or that desperate. Yeah, I'm not homeless either or that desperate, but I don't know. part of me is also sort of like, I don't know, man. I'm torn because it's like Swords of Magic makes just enough money to like supplement our income, you know, between that and like Patreon and like Twitch donations that we randomly get. And then Jana's income right now with Game Dev TV. It's like we make enough money to scrape by, and we're like okay, and we get to do the things we want to do and take time off when we need to, and you know, go see family and stuff like that if we want, because we can work from anywhere or not work at all if we want to for a week. It's fine, and I love that. But also, part of me is also like, what if I just, you know, made a bunch of friend slot games and made, you know, like one of them took off and made, you know, $1 million or something, because then we could live very comfortably, and then I could go back to making the MMO or whatever, and I wouldn't have to worry about money at all. So it's like, do I sacrifice my time now working on games that I don't really love working on but have way more potential to make money like in the near future, you know, or like UEFN, right? Like Fortnite maps, like those are making money hand over fist, I think, still. And like I feel like I could probably churn out a bunch of those games, a bunch of those maps, whatever, and make money there way faster than any long-term project that I want to work on is going to make. And so a part of me is like, yeah, like let's just go make money, and then once you have money, then you can work on the dream projects, you know, you can work on the fun stuff. And then those like, and then because I'm not stressed about money, those will come out better, and we'll already have an audience too, and so those will work better. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I need to talk to Moz about it. He's probably in here going, wait, what? What I thought we were doing this MMO thing. I don't know. I also don't know if I like want to like do this stuff solo or like what I want to do. I don't know, I'm just torn right now. I thought about trying to make a friend slot version of Oregon Trail. That could be cool. Call it nostalgia. Boom, you're welcome. I'll take 5%, right? Just call it nostalgia. Call it Camp Nostalgia. That'd be a good name for it. MMO dedication is probably one of the most dedicated, but yeah, my time would be better spent making a bunch of friend slop. Yeah. Or not even like friend slop. Like, you know, like look at the like digging a hole, right? Like that game was like, it's so simple, and it's a single player game. You don't have to worry about multiplayer. Like you don't have to worry about the friend slop aspect of it. Like, and that game did really well, you know, like Only Up, you know, that game is so freaking basic. It's all about just having those ideas. And I think like, it's one thing to be like, okay, I have the $1 million idea, let's knock this game out, but like that could easily flop, right? Like for sure. So I think that the trick is to just keep churning out those games until one of them does take off, you know, like Among Us, you know, like it sat dormant forever and then finally just took off. I think maybe they won't take off in the future, but eventually, like it's like the lottery, right? You have to keep playing to try to win. You can't buy one ticket, fail, and then go, okay, well, the lottery's not for me, you know? Like, if you want to make games, or make money from, like, indie games, whatever, you just kind of have to keep churning them out. Not that I want to do that, you know? I don't want to keep churning out games. That doesn't really interest me. We're almost there. We have bushes. There's some green. That game annoys me. Made in, like, a week and blew up. Only Up? Yeah, that one's bad. That one's ridiculous. The thing about it is that it like totally failed and got ripped or taken down everywhere because the dude used stolen assets. That like blows my mind. Like the game was so easy to make. Just pay $20 for an asset pack, man. like come on. Like that's what pisses me off most about it is like it was so successful and the dude couldn't even do that right. You know, like it was so simple. Like the simplest damn game you can think of. Like what if you made a game where you jump on things? Okay, done. But I'm gonna rip assets from other games because I'm too lazy and too like cheap to just buy them myself. Like stupid. Screwed himself over big time. Oh, the game about digging a hole. Yeah, that one pissed me off too. Ask AI to make 100 games in a single response. Yeah, see what I mean, Taxi? That's what I'm saying. Is that this is where it's getting down to too. Is that like, people are just using AI to either generate ideas for games for them or to just make the games for them. And that's why we're gonna go for like people like this position I'm in right now where it's like, man, I could make this really cool game that I know is going to be good, but it probably won't sell very well because it's kind of niche, or because it's going to take me 2 years to make, and like whatever, and like the return on investment is not there. Or I can just churn out some friend slot games. Like lots of people are in this boat right now trying to figure out what games to make, or if their game is worth making because it's like going to be more invested than like what they want to do. So they turn to AI or whatever. So this is exactly the issue with these like 18,000 plus Steam games, is that people are realizing that some of these games are super easy to make, like Only Up or Digging a Hole or Peak or whatever. They're easy to make, they're quick and like simple games, and they have a much better chance of making money than your 7-year MMO commitment you want to make, right? So like that's why we see so many of these games right now, and this is just, we're just making it worse, and AI is gonna just compound on that, right? So yeah, we're definitely in a weird spot right now. Hey, what's up, golfer? Oh boy, who's got Kinder talking about the state of the game industry? No, not that game. So cringe. There, yeah, there's this other game where you basically build a tower by placing a single brick and scale a tower. Wow. But it's as a group, so it's friend slot. Gotcha. Partially my fault. I told him about forward shading, and now we have to wait for it to compile shaders for the whole game, so we're yapping. Yeah, the AI slop games, some of them can easily be made. I've done it. Yeah, luckily for us, multiplayer does add a lot of complexity, and that AI does struggle with. Yes, we might have some time to get ahead of that wave of slop. Yeah, that's true. I think, you know, what I struggle with is I feel like I have the experience and like the skill to be able to knock out like a friend slop type game, you know, pretty easy. But I think part of it is like, sure, why not like knock those out? But then I'm like, but I have all this experience. I could make something bigger and grander, you know, like I could make an MMO. I could make a dungeon crawler. I can make something cool that's actually fun to play that I want to make because I have the experience to do that. I know how to do it, you know? And so I like almost feel like I'm like gating myself out of making these easy, cheap games, you know, because I feel like I'm above that, like knowledge wise or talent wise, and also like morally. And that's the problem, right? I just think this is what it's boiled down for me. I feel like if you want to make money in this world, you just kind of have to be a little scummy, right? Like, I don't know, man. I'm almost 40, and I just feel like every time money has like money, like anytime I've seen someone make money, it's because I've done something that's like, oh man, I don't know if I would have done that, but they made a lot of money, so, you know, especially in game dev, like I feel like you have to do something not super scummy. Like you can make cheap experiences, right? I guess it's not scummy, but like you gotta kind of cheapen yourself a little bit to make money. I don't know. Bigger and grander is nice, but like you said, having the money from smaller games to fund your bigger game is much more comfortable. Yep. And the worst part is like, I don't know. I get in these phases too where I'm like we pay our bills like the first of the month. So yesterday we paid our bills, and I'm like looking at our finances, and I'm like, how can I make money right now? Like, what can I do today to make us money this month? And like that's not how game dev works at all. Game dev is like on like a 2-month cycle where you do something and you feel the effects of it like 2 months later, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, it sucks. Like even with Swords of Magic, like I can launch a massive update this month. Like we can do skill trees. I can do potentially a big performance update with if the forward shading works better. Who knows? But there's like so many things I could do this month and like launch a huge update with Frostfall and put the game on sale. I can market it. I can put some money in ads or whatever. Like there's so many things I could do to make money this month, but then I won't see that money until February. You know, like not even next month. I have to wait all the way till February before it finally comes back around to me. And that's like the worst part about game development. Having a game live service like this and just game development in general. Because even if I churned out a whole game this month, even if I sat down, I was like, you know what, screw it. I closed this and we open up a new project and we churned out all the basic mechanics for a friend slop game in the next 8-10 hours. Hell, we could do it today if we can actually get that done. I don't think we would, but if we could get that done today, and we put it on Steam this month, I still would not actually see anything from it until February at the soonest. And that sucks because it just like it makes like those short-term plans like feel long-term, and it like can, like kill your motivation, you know? Yeah, you're thinking ahead and you know how much ROI. Yeah. Yeah, that's what sucks about being like I guess financially responsible game dev, like knowing that whatever decision you make today, you're not going to feel the effects for 2 months, so you have to like think smart and use your time wisely, you know? Like I can't just churn out a game and hope it works out and then like see what happens. I have to wait 2 months to see. So it's like I don't know. It's a mess. I guess you'll know if it worked out the second you launch it, you know? Like within 24 hours you'll know if your game worked. You just won't get the money for another month. Yeah, I just feel like wait, hold on. I just feel like I'm doing too much in my games when I see these small crappy games blow up. Yes, same. Yeah, same. Like Swords of Magic has hundreds of hours of content, and then I just played through Thank Goodness You're Here. Absolutely love that game. Like brilliant game, beautiful art. Like the voiceovers are spectacular. Like I couldn't find a single flaw with that game. It was so good, but it was 4 hours. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that game took forever to make because it's all like animated, like it's all hand drawn. It's definitely a high quality game. It definitely took months and months to make, I'm sure. But my point is, it's a 4-hour experience. And then I look at Swords Magic and I'm like, shit, why am I churning out like hundreds of hours of content for a game that makes 10% of what that 4-hour game makes, you know? That game probably actually took like, well, over a year to make, I'm sure. But still, and that probably wasn't a good example either, because like that game definitely earned their money and deserved it. But the game's like digging a hole, you know, and it's like they don't deserve that money. Like they didn't put, you know, 10 years into game development to master the craft to like make a masterpiece game, and like they didn't, you know? That's what sucks, is you see that stuff and you're like, why am I even working on this? This is how I felt about Swords of Magic when it launched too. So Craftopia, which is made by the same the developers who made Pal World, that was their, I don't know if it was their first game, but it was the previous game, which I think is still in early access, by the way. I think they pretty much just abandoned it, which why wouldn't you if you launched, you know, Pal World right afterward and it blew up like it did. But yeah, like, so you have like Craftopia launched, I think the same day or the same week as Swords of Magic. And I'm like, shit, this game is just an asset flip. It's going to die, you know, it's going to be a flop. Like, who cares? You know, this game is nothing. And then we launched Swords of Magic, and it was like, wait, why is their game making so much more money? They literally just bought all those assets. They just bought all those assets and dropped them into a game, and it's such a simple game. Like, why is this making so much money? And Swords of Magic was like nowhere near as successful. And I'm like, I made all this stuff by hand. Like, I made it all by hand. I designed all these systems by hand. It's all a cohesive game, and it like feels good to play and has like a storyline and like quests and all this stuff. And I handcrafted like this whole world to put it in. And their game is all just like basically asset flip, and it did like 10 times better than our game did, you know? And it's like, what? It's at 8,000. We're at 8,000, but it started at 30. So actually, I think it started at 40 something. I don't know. We have a lot of shaders. Hard to see it on stream with the white text box behind it. As far as you can see it at all, it's behind my face. It's right there. Are you seeing it? Oh, you're seeing the top left corner. Got it. Yeah. Here, I'll stay up here while you keep tabs on it. I'm not too concerned. I stream just to chat with everyone anyway. I'm not streaming to get work done. If I wanted to get work done, I wouldn't be live right now. The game looks so cool when it's like half compiled though. Not that you'd want to like play a game like this, but like it's still like, it's just cool seeing like a world you've built that like looks different, you know? Anyway. Sometimes it's not about investing a bunch of time into a project. Yep. What's the... Thought it was 3,000? No, we still got a ways. It's alright though. Yeah, it's not there yet. It does only take one guy or company to make that a reality. It's just nobody has yet. Unreal's AI document assistant is not it. Maybe a powerful AI can work, IDE can work on your project, but depends how big the project size is. Yep. I've just been searching for where I have WoW running. What? Oh, because we had WoW music playing? You thought you had WoW running? Got it. Sorry. Digging a hole was made in 7 days. That just kills me. No way. I don't know, man. Maybe Sock Pop's got it right. You know, you knock out like you get like a group of devs together. You just knock out like a game or two a month, and then you just wait for them one to take off. Also, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I feel like I'm like a bad game developer too, or like game designer, I guess, because like all of my games, like I want to make these big grand games like RPGs and stuff like that, and I think I have cool ideas, but at the same time, like when I think about making smaller games, my brain is like, what would I even make? You know, like I have ideas for like little experiences and stuff, but most of them are like just, I don't know. Like the big games I want to make are like not that unique, you know, like an MMO. Like I want to make a WoW I pretty much just want to make like a WoW clone that's like set in a different universe with different classes and different like zones to explore and everything, obviously different world to explore. But it's like there's nothing unique about that. It's not that interesting, you know. It's not like I'm coming up with all these crazy new advanced like mechanics and stuff. And I don't want to, because like that kind of like cheapens the whole effect of like a WoW clone, right? But it's like, if I don't know, it makes me feel like a lousy game designer sometimes. Like I don't even, like if I sat down to make like a bunch of game jams or whatever, like all my game jams are like mini versions of what a bigger game could be, you know? I don't know. I found AI is good at small tasks. It starts failing when you try to make it understand the whole game. Yeah, I think I like to use AI as a like brainstorm engine. That's like the majority of how I use like GPT, and I also like to use it as a like learning tool, so I can like, I'll say like, well, how would I manage the data for an MMO or something, like what are the best ways to like handle this, and it's not always right. Sometimes it gives you bogus stuff, and sometimes I'll ask it things like, how should I go about structuring this project, or this system or whatever that I want to build. Like I want to build a skill tree system. What's the best way to like handle all these different, you know, bespoke skills that I want to build a change, whatever. It's like stuff like that. But I always feel like when I make small games, I need to add more gameplay to it. Yeah. That's where I would struggle with small friend swap games. Agreed. Context matters, and yeah, single tasks, it's hard to push AI, and yeah, will eventually mess up. If you're very careful, you can get a lot of work done. So it's just useful to a degree. Yes. Hey, what's up, Ryan? I've been playing this non-stop on my Steam Deck. Kudos to you and the whole team. It's so much fun. Thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome in. Hopefully new update this month. If these shaders ever compile. Guys, it looks the exact same to me. I don't see a difference. It looks a little contrasty. Maybe? Might be in my head. This looks really vibrant, but that might just be a color issue. I'm like that might have been already been an issue. Let's see if we can actually see a difference here. I mean, I hope that there's a performance difference, so otherwise we just wasted time, because I don't see a visual difference like at all. I also feel like there was probably a good reason we didn't have forward shading turned on, because we did go through and do a bunch of performance stuff like years ago, trying to get every drop of performance we could out of it, you know. But and you would think that we would have turned this on, but I really don't see a difference. yet. I do feel like the colors might be slightly more vibrant, but that might also just be my eyes, not, I don't know. One sec. Damn it, Moz. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Yeah, so no, that's Moz just reminded me that's probably exactly why we don't use forward shading. Because our water shader probably doesn't. Oh no, it's working just fine. Looks fine. I mean, our post-process effect isn't working yet, but that might just be waiting for shader, hopefully. Do you think that's what it was, Moz? That's why we didn't use forward shading, because it broke our underwater post-process effect? I'm actually surprised the water doesn't look terrible, because I was expecting to get over here and just have like a flat color or something. Like you can use forward shading with their water shader, but it looks great. Looks fine to me. Looks beautiful. It might. We'll have to wait till we have 4,000 more to go, and then we'll know for sure. Yeah, I'm glad this is running well on the Steam Deck. I personally don't like the controller support with it. It's really meant to be played with a keyboard and mouse, and I think it feels a lot better. But we did add controller support just for the Steam Deck, pretty much. I'm glad it works. Like it does play okay on Steam Deck. It's not great, but better than nothing. Does your game make money via cosmetics or some kind of cosmetics battle pass? Nope. Our game is just a box price, and we have one DLC. The DLC is a supporter pack that you can buy to get like a couple cosmetics. So I guess yes, sort of. But yeah, it doesn't make very much money. How do you handle the controller support? We use a virtual cursor for our UI. It's the laziest way to do it for sure. I would love to go through and like rebuild it so we can use an actual like gamepad like selection system, you know, but it's not worth the effort. I think like 80% of our players play with keyboard and mouse anyway. I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for controller support. Yeah, if you don't have a ton of UI and you don't have like a full ass inventory and stuff, I think like doing it the right way is the way to go. But yeah, in this case, there like all the UI was built with keyboard and mouse in mind. Like the whole game was built with keyboard and mouse in mind, and then we added controller support after the fact. Huge mistake, by the way. Common UI does help with the controller, but I'm dreading it. Yeah, everything I've seen with Common UI, like I don't like so far. But I've only really played with like the inherited like widget stuff. So to be honest, I like virtual cursors. Having to scroll through menus. Fair enough. Yeah, our virtual cursor works in conjunction with our like the right stick does scroll, which is nice. So I think the majority of like moving through your menu is probably done via scrolling. But you love Common UI? Moz loves it. If Moz loves it and I hate it, it's probably because I don't understand it well enough yet. That's pretty much what that comes down to. UI stack alone is super nice. Okay, so I do like the UI stack. I don't. So what I was, yeah, I do like that. I forgot. Forgot that was part of it. That is nice though. Just being able to like add and remove like a stack, like the stacking UI layers. That's pretty cool. What I didn't like was I was trying to build like parented like a hierarchy of widgets, and it was just like not worth the effort. So I just threw that out. Didn't do that. But yeah, Common UI is also a UE5 thing, so not useful for Swords of Magic in any way, so can't really utilize that. I do wish there was like a simpler way to handle controller support though for UI, for UE4. But yeah, I also like virtual cursors, and we had that the Destiny thing where like when you move your cursor this way, the UI like goes this way to like kind of meet your cursor, so it's like faster to move your cursor around. But people were complaining that was making them sick, so we ended up turning that off. Like all those, we had a bunch of effects where like the UI would like move around when you move your mouse and stuff, and people were complaining about it, making them nauseous. So we ditched that. One sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Might just do a virtual cursor. It'd be a lot easier for sure. Yeah, they are way easier to set up. There's a plugin for it that I use. I think it's the Rama one. I actually need to set that up for Seeking Adventure soon too, because I don't have controller support for that, and we're hopefully gonna port it to Switch. Maybe Switch 2. Sorry, I just ran up and down the stairs. Or down and then up the stairs. The dog was barking. Anyway, yeah, this looks perfectly fine to me. We will see if underwater has a problem. Actually, I don't think I would. Would I even see? I wouldn't see underwater effects in editor. Would I? I don't think so. 200. And then we will pray to the game dev gods that we're not going to crash. We're just waiting for these right here. No, they're brown. Moving around the editor feels a little smoother, but I think only when I'm looking away from town. I don't know if I'd feel many effects in the editor anyway. Let me get rid of this tunnel though. I don't think we're actually going to do anything with that. Okay, we're done. So we're at like 40, high 40s, low 50s FPS. I bet nighttime's going to feel a little different. Eh. No difference. If anything, it's worse right now. We're still at 50. Like, Bayman broke 60. Honestly, like, it's done, but yeah, like, literally no difference. No difference in performance. No difference in visuals. I think we'll leave it for now. We'll leave it and see stat. Yeah, we can do the stat unit. Yeah, still looks about the same. Yeah, it's because it's out. Well, yeah, I don't know. we're look down. Here. No, this. No difference. The FPS bottleneck is from your game thread. Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying. That's what I was saying before we even turned it on, that I didn't think we'd see a difference because the bottleneck was from CPU, not GPU. Shocker. I can't believe it's a programming issue. What? No, it's probably not even a programming issue. It's probably just too much stuff going on. So, well, shit. It's okay. I mean, here's the thing. For people who have like a crazy good CPU, like better than mine, and the game performance isn't that big of a deal for them, they might actually see a performance improvement. And I don't see any visual difference yet. So I don't see any reason to turn it back off. Like, let's just leave it on. I'll put in my notes here, or I'll add to. There, I added it to a card for our testers to be on the lookout for. So just in case there is a difference and they do see something, then we'll notice it, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, are you able to turn scalability up from low now? Oh, maybe. That's a really good call. Oh my god, why is shading on low? I don't remember putting shading on low, so I don't know why it was on low. But I don't see any difference. It's fine, I guess. What's the max level in your game, and how long did it take for players to get to... What? I guess even though I assume endgame to endgame, got it, sorry. I guess even though I assume endgame is just based on level. I would say players, so it kind of depends. So it's an open world and we don't really have any barriers. The only barrier is the ocean right now. So this zone over here, there's like a ferry. This is all obviously not loaded, but there's like a ferry here that's broken down, and you have to fix the ferry to open up the ocean so you can, or get like this straight or whatever, so you can get across to the mainland. That takes players probably the longest. You have to gather a bunch of resources, but you can probably do it in like an hour if you were like speed running. And then you could probably get to end game, which is like in this zone. This is the latest zone in the game, also not loaded right now. But if you get into this zone, there's like a boss kind of like thing here. Like there's like an end game like quest chain, I guess. That's probably like the closest to end game we have right now, and that would probably take you, like playing legitimately would probably take you like 20 hours maybe. But if you like were speedrunning it and just wanted to get straight there, you'd have to level like one class to be able to like actually kill things and not die instantly. But you mostly just need to buy stuff, so you just kind of need to make money. But like the way the game works, like one, you can cheat really easy because it's like all local saves, so you could just like duplicate items and stuff like that if you really wanted to. which is whatever. We had a streamer once who like discovered that on stream. Not like they weren't like just like, it's not like they like figured it out. They would like had the realization they could do that because they could just like pull their like save game out or whatever, and then like sell stuff and then bring it back in or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, they like figured out how to dupe it anyway. And then they were like, you know, I wouldn't normally do that in a game, but in a game like this where the developer doesn't respect your time, I totally would. And I was like, what? Like, how am I not respecting your time? You can play however you want. I'm not like, there's no time gating. Okay, there is actually some time so there's some time gating. There's like a handful of quests or like events where you do something and then you have to wait like a day or two, like in game, which is like 24 to like 48 minutes before you get a letter in the mail to like continue that thing. And I only do that in like 3 places, and it's not really to time gate it. It's just because like it makes so much more sense to have to wait a couple days for this thing to happen. Like you're waiting for like someone to grow up, right? Or something like that to happen. And it doesn't make sense for it to happen like instantly. It's just an immersive thing. Or like you're waiting for like an animal to be raised or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It just, it's like more of an immersive thing than it is anything. So I don't know. That's the only time we like time gate anything in the game. Everything else is just kind of like do it at your own pace, however you want. And you can pretty much just rush right at the end of the game. Like for example, there's this rock slide here, or this, yeah, a rock slide here. And you have to blow this up. You have to get a bunch of resources you put in this box to make the explosives, and then you hit this little plunger over here and blow it up, right? But you don't have to do this. You can also just get a or a launch spell and like launch yourself up into the rocks here and like get over the top, and then you're in the next zone. And then same with over here, like there's this zone over here. There's a gate, you can't see it right here, but right here there's a big wall, like a big thing you can't jump over, but you can just get the launch spell and like launch yourself over the top of it. Or use wind whirlers. There's like these wind whirler things you can put on the ground, and then you like glide into them and they launch you up in the air. There's so many ways to get around the barriers in the game that it's like you could just get in this zone if you really wanted to. Like you should know when the gates close and they tell you like, oh, it's dangerous, don't go over there, that you're not supposed to be in that zone yet. And like hopefully players are like, yeah, I'm not going to go in there until I'm supposed to be in there because I don't want to get killed or whatever. But you can do it. Like nothing is stopping you from doing it. It's very open. Anyway. But yeah, there's like yeah, the same game thing, yikes, in an MMO. Oh, the save game thing, yikes. Well, this is not an MMO. This game is not an MMO. This is, so yeah, I don't know if maybe there was a disconnect when you like came in. So Project Campfire is our MMO, and it's a completely separate game. This is called Swords and Magic and Stuff. This is an early access on Steam. It's an open world multiplayer RPG. It's very casual, not an MMO at all. There are levels. There is a skill tree that I'm working on right now that's launching soon. It is because it's an RPG, so there are levels. But 35 is the max level right now. It will be 50 when the final zone comes out, which is this zone here. This is Bone Reach. This will go from 35 to 50. This is the end game. This will be the end game, and it should take you about 30 hours to get here, probably, if you do like all the content. But yeah, that's it. But it's not an MMO. It's so how the multiplayer works is you just basically host a game, and then your friends can join the game if they have the password. That's it. So it's sort of like Conan Exiles or Ark or Rust, those games like that, right? So you can host your own game. That we do have official servers where there's an official US and EU servers. You can join those, but again, like that's the closest we have like to MMO-esque, is like you just kind of jump in, and you can play up to 16 players by default, but you can technically do more if your system can handle it. I don't think anyone's system can handle too many more than 16 players, but you could do it. Well, this was feeling like an MMO for a hot second there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of MMO vibes in it. A lot of people say it feels like playing an MMO for you and your friends, like a tiny MMO just for you and your friends. And that's how the quests are laid out for the most part. They're not as like straightforward as like MMO quests, but yeah, like there's like quest hubs where you can get a bunch of quests and do a tournament. Yeah, there's a quest log. There's a class system, but it is an open class system too. So you like, if you use a sword, you gain warrior experience. If you use a bow, you gain hunter experience. If you use a combination of like axes and swords, like dual wield, because you can dual wield anything that's like one-handed in the game. You can like yeah, you like dual wield. The damage you do with the axe, the percentage of damage you do to the enemy with the axe versus the sword, is the percentage of experience you get for your hunter versus your warrior. Does that make sense? And yeah, it could easily be an MMO, but not really. There's a lot of things that like doesn't work for MMO, right? Like, one, the world is too compact, I think, and another big one is like the quest system is not very multiplayer friendly, unfortunately. It's pretty hard to do quests together. Everyone has to talk to the NPC, everyone has to do all the things. I guess you have to do that in WoW too, but I don't know. You can barely go 4 players in Project Zomboid without multiplayer going to shit. Yeah, I don't know how we do it so well in this, to be honest. Whenever you get a website for more info on your MMO, that would be cool. Yeah, we're probably still really far away from that. But yeah, that would be nice. I don't know. I don't know if we'll actually have a website for it. We have a website for Kindred Games, so we'll probably put it on there, but it probably won't have a bunch of info on it. I don't really like websites personally. I think with MMOs it makes more sense, but honestly, I think most games, like, when was the last time you went to a website to look more about a game other than like Ashes of Creation, I guess, right? And the only reason I've ever been to there is because I want to know what the early access like prices were, and it wasn't on Steam yet, right? But now that it's going to be on Steam, how many people are actually going to go to the website other than like backers, you know? I don't know. I just think websites are kind of like going out for games. But we'll see. Okay, anyway, we are 2.5 hours in. Let's see if we can knock out some of these bugs now. Where was I? Skill trees. We have 13 left to do. Enrage. Okay, we need to... How do you get Enrage again? No. We looked at that. We need to look at skill DP. I do feel like the editor is running smoother right now. That might be in my head, though. I don't think it has anything to do with the rendering, but maybe. Like, actually, I wonder if the forward shading does actually have an impact on the editor, because yeah, it's not as heavy to render. That's like really the majority of what, like, I mean, having a bunch of stuff loaded in, but still, I don't know. It feels smooth right now, which is very weird for Swords of Magic. It never feels this smooth. Whenever you take damage, you have a 30% chance to become enraged. For 5 seconds, you gain 10 focus. Okay, that's what we changed that to. Okay, so that one that we were having is actually probably correct. Let's just make sure this works. We'll test it multiplayer. I read about games via website due to them being games in development, not on Steam yet, but I'm not the average gamer. Yeah, that's true. And I think, yeah, I think all of our, I don't even know where to put all our information for the MMO when we're ready. I don't know. It'll probably be available on our, yeah, I guess a website is the best place to put it. We'll see. Maybe we'll just make a new page on the website for it, rather than having a whole new website for it. We just got rid of all of our, we had like 3 websites and we just got rid of 2 of them because it was just costing us money for no reason. There was just no reason to have that many websites. Like we had 2 for Swords of Magic that both like routed to the same one, and then we had one for Kindred Games that also linked to the Swords of Magic website. So it's just, there's no reason to have them all. So now our Kindred Games website has a list of all of our games, including Seeking Adventure, Swords of Magic, and a couple other Game Jam games on there too. And we'll eventually probably put Project Campfire on there when it's ready. Okay. We need to take some damage. Well, first we need to make sure we have the skill. Enraged. And then the issue was that it says I can get enraged by recovering health too. Okay, so I'm enraged right now. We need to recover some health. I don't think healing would do it. Let's +2 recovery. We'll do this. Takes more damage. I wonder if you can get enraged from taking fall damage. I don't think so. I think it's only when you take damage from enemies. We fixed that. I'm not getting enraged from recovery. I think that's fixed. I'm gonna check it off. Taunt. Blocking does give taunt. Will need MP multiplayer to test aggro though, but doesn't seem to work with companions. Right. I think we were looking into the aggro thing and it wasn't working the way I wanted it to work last time I saw. I actually think it needs some work. But it's been a while and I don't remember what the issue was now. I had a thing on. You should be able to get aggro from shield bashing and blocking. Especially with this passive. Successful blocks with a shield grant taunt for 5 seconds, generating double threat from attacking and blocking, urging targets to attack you. Blocking also applies a stack of vengeance to you. Is this a thing now? Did we actually implement this? While vengeance is active, shield bashing will consume all stacks and deal a damage over time effect to all nearby enemies, scaling with your vitality and focus stats. Is this working? Yep, it is. Hit me again. I don't think you can. Let's see if we can move him over to the other guy. That might be close enough. Oh yeah. I did like all but 1 health to him. That's I forgot that was a system. That was a thing we added. I love it. Here's the thing, I don't know if taunt's actually working. Damn, that's pretty sick. I forgot we implemented that. That's because people didn't like taunt just being taunt. They said that was boring. I'm gonna change this and say blocking gives taunt, but we need to look into threat to see if it's working correctly. We need to turn on our threat thing too. Let's see, that was on health bar, I think. Let's just open this one. I think it's player health bar. Yeah, there is a threat thing. Do we have it turned off? Yes. Let's just set it to visible for now. And the other one I think is this player health bar. Yep. And this one set to visible here. I think the problem was that we were building a lot of threat, but we weren't seeing it actually impact the player. I think we might need to. Let's go over here. Actually, I think I have a little test area set up over here. Nope. Do we have any navigation in here? No. Maybe we did. Oh well. This is the last warrior issue though, and and then we move on to Hunter. Okay, what are these guys? Bandits. Okay, this should be good. Multiplayer. So we need to be looking at how much threat we're actually building when we're blocking and shield bashing, and then make sure that the person who has the threat's actually being attacked. The problem is, I know this is gonna be a problem. So the way we built this was really stupid. Basically, I think how it works is every player has a threat score, and it has nothing to do with the mobs you're fighting. Meaning, if one player has a bunch of threat, all the mobs will see that threat and all attack them, even if they never even attack that mob. All right, where's my threat? I have 0.07, and now it's gone again. Like, I lost my threat that fast. I have 0.3. Okay, I mean, at least I do have all of their threat, but now if I walk away, am I gonna lose any to that guy? No. Good. Okay, I mean, it seems to be working, okay. Oh, I'm dead. And now they should all go attack the other guy? No, you know why? Duh. That wasn't gonna work, and I know why. It's because this guy was not trespassing. Wait, don't attack him. I have threat. Give me the threat. Please don't kill him. Seriously, please don't kill the guy. Okay, I got threat. That seems to be working. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's working. Let's see if we can get more. We have a ton of threat right now. Oh, I died. I didn't block that very well, I guess, somehow. They don't care about this guy anymore. Oh, I wasn't trespassing again? How'd that happen? Oh, now this guy's trespassing. Yeah, I have 1.1 threat, and then they immediately went and attacked that guy. I don't think they care about threat at all. I have no idea how we're even like checking threat. This was built so long ago. This is gonna suck. I think our entire threat system is actually broken. Oh, and I don't want to build a new one. Every time I touch this kind of stuff, I break everything. This is just so dumb, though. Like, we shouldn't, like, maybe I do need to just build a new threat system. Honestly, what we should do is we should build our threat system as a gameplay effect. Now, how do we do that? It'd be great as gameplay effect, but I don't think we can do it. Because I was gonna say we'd just make it like an effect that we can just stack. So like if you taunt, for example, or if you had like, I don't even know. Sure. You just like taunt or something, they would like hit all the enemies and then give them like a threat effect, right? But that won't work because a threat needs to be specific to the player. Ooh, thank you. You didn't have to do that. Maybe you had to bring me any. Thank you. Love you. The missus just brought me some hot buttered pretzels. Let's just drop them. Anyway, yeah, so like if we did we can't use the gameplay effect because like there's no way for me to like keep track of separate instances. Oh wait, actually I guess that could be. No, there's not. Not if they're stackable. Because they couldn't like stack separate instances. Because once you got a second one from another player, it would just override the first one, I think. So I wonder if the best way to do this would be through a component where the server, like we call like grant threat or whatever, and then the server adds the threat to the player, to the NPC. Oh man, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Because I'm gonna have to dive into everything. I don't want to do this. I just don't. We are taking into account the target though. Maybe I just need to change this to a struct and we can just store the target, like the actor, as who has the threat. Honestly, I don't even know how this is working. These are good though. That's good. I assume that this is being overridden somewhere. It must be, right? There's no way we just have this like not plugged in, not working. Manage threat. I wonder if this is actually working. Let's put let's just hit play here. It's not breaking, so this isn't even working. Let's go to reference viewer and see what's actually inheriting from this. Nothing. Okay, let's see if this is even like, is this even being called anywhere? I feel like it's not. I don't know. I feel like some of this AI stuff was like rebuilt like 3 times, and I don't even know what works and what doesn't work. Okay, crazy idea. What if we just take the taunt part off this and we just call this vengeance instead? And then like we'll leave the taunt on here. We can take the effect off, I guess. Or we just don't show it on the buff bar. And that way like players aren't even expecting it to like generate threat right now, because since we don't have dungeons it doesn't really matter that much. I don't know. I'm just thinking like what's the fastest way to get this out the door rather than having to figure this all out. EPAI character. Oh, we have this. The player inherits from this. I don't know. Oh no, it doesn't. Hmm. Gameplay effect proc. No longer upgraded. We use this to trigger on-heal effects, mostly for triggering these effects on companions, allies, and for accumulating threat from GEs. So the enemy character is giving threat to the player here. This is dumb. So I don't even know how our players or our characters even checking threat. Should I blame Meta or myself for having such a messed up Instagram algorithm? YouTube's recommended page gets really messy. Do you watch one thing you've never clicked before or checked before? Yeah. I don't know. What I don't like about YouTube is that you can go through like you can like binge a bunch of stuff. Like, for example, right now my whole YouTube algorithm is pretty much just World of Warcraft. But like a few months ago, it was like something else, and and I feel like I don't know what I can't think of an example right now. But I know there's like situations where like let's just say Unreal Engine tutorials or something, for example. Like I know I watched a bunch of like tutorials and certain things, or whatever, or like game design stuff or whatever, or game dev stuff, and then like I'll start watching YouTube or like World of Warcraft videos. 'Cause I'm playing WoW now, and then it's like YouTube is just like, okay, we're done with this blueprint thing. Let's not show any of those more things, any more of those that anymore. No more game dev stuff at all. Now it's all World of Warcraft. Let's only focus on this and MMOs. And that's what I don't like about the algorithm is I want a mix of all the things I watch. Like I want to see little things here and there about all that stuff, and I just feel like it just kind of like moves on from one thing and only shows new stuff. Not as good as it could be. Yeah. Agreed. So this is confusing. We have get custom target threat weight and we have accumulated threat. This should be the threat that like accumulates for NPCs. So like an AI, like if you have a companion or something that's like fighting, this is the threat they would get. They'd be gaining. But this is inputting an actor. I have this weird feeling that we're getting the threat of the NPC, not the threat of the actual character. But that seems really stupid. Because why are we sending an actor in? So we can calculate threat and spit it back out. I mean, whatever is calling this could have just done that. So this tells me this was probably built with the idea that every character has its own threat on the enemy. Like we should have a struct called like threat, and each an array of structs, and that each struct should have an actor and their threat score, and we should be updating that struct. Whenever they take damage, whenever the player heals, things like that. But I don't want to mess with that. But what is the point of the actor input here? Shield Bash is also... Why is Shield Bash a cleave? I guess on the bright side... Oh, I'm dead. On the bright side, that this is not triggering either. Hopefully it wouldn't trigger on anyone. So this is also not doing anything. I have no idea what's triggering this. Well, finally released Housing. Also did it in 1997. Yeah. I personally just like don't really think I care that much for housing in MMO. I guess I just sort of feel like maybe I'm just kind of burnt out on the housing thing. But I sort of just feel like, who cares? Like, I guess if I want to play a game with housing in it, I'll go play like Conan Exiles or like The Sims, right? Or Animal Crossing or something, right? Like there's a lot of games out there that do housing really well. I just feel like with an MMO, it's like, I don't know. Like an MMO, like housing would work really well if my house was in the world where everyone could see it, right? Because then like it feels like an MMO. But if you're playing a game where like this is an MMO, but I instance into my house that no one else can see, then what is the purpose of that? Like you're making like blind progress, which is like that's why people play an MMO over a single player games, because they want to feel like their accomplishments are being seen by other players and there's like a community, you know? But if you're playing like if you have housing in an MMO, like you're losing all of that, right? Because you don't have that, like none of that progress matters. It's all like cosmetics that only you can see. So what's the purpose of putting housing in an MMO? It's very difficult. You don't want instance housing, but that's what we got just due to limitation. Yeah, and there is a limitation for sure. I think there's two ways to do housing. These are one of two ways that I would probably do it in our MMO if we decide to do housing. And I think Moz is definitely on board for housing, so probably gonna happen. But either one, you do non-instance housing in the world, but instead of housing, you make it guild halls. Because that way you can have one shared plot that people can build on and like grow up, whatever. Probably managed by like officers or whatever in the guild. You know, so I'm sure most individual players wouldn't have an effect on it, but at least you have like potentially hundreds of players sharing one plot that can make an impact, right? And that plot can be visited by all other players. Players can see that plot and be like, wow, this guild hall is huge, this is epic, like look at all the cool stuff in here, I want to be part of this guild, right? Then you can apply to that guild because you saw it in the world somewhere. And then your guild also has like a lasting actual impact in the world, because it's there physically and players can see it when they adventure through, which I think would be amazing, right? I think that feels really good, whatever. And then if you want to, you could even have instanced housing sort of like inside that hall, right? That like guild hall, right? Like maybe you have multiple like, I don't know, like floors you can go to or something, or like different halls you can go to, and you like enter it and then you can see everyone's like room or whatever in there. I guess we could do some of that. I don't know. That seems like unnecessary, but whatever. The other option is like a neighborhood style thing, which I'm guessing is how Midnight has probably done it, where like in each major city you would have like a gated area where you can't get into. I mean, obviously flying mounts causes the problem here or whatever. But you like interact with a gate to like go into like the housing area. So it's like a big gated area and you can see like a neighborhood that's like just like a facade or whatever. And you interact with it and it pops up and shows you like which neighborhood do you want to go down or which street do you want to visit or whatever. And so you see like all the different like instanced versions of the neighborhoods, you know? So you'd pick like, I want to go down Crescent Street or whatever, for example. And you click that and then it logs you into that instance of housing and it'd be like 30 houses or whatever, you know, 15 on each side of the road or whatever. And then you see all those people who live on that street, right? And then Blizzard or whoever, or we or whatever, would just add more instance neighborhood versions, whatever, or just generate more or whatever as more and more players buy houses or whatever. And then you just do like a renting system. So if players log off for 2 months, they don't pay their rent or whatever, they get kicked out. All their inventory just goes into like some, like their bank or something is like a thing they can't add more things into, but they can pull them out or whatever they want to, whatever, I don't know. That also might become like a cheese thing. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I think something like that would be the way to do it. Yeah, maybe that, like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I think those are like the two options I think I would consider. I did a little bit of research in how to do housing on non-instanced in an open world. And oh, you are describing Ashes of Creation guild nodes. Yeah. I have not seen that in Ashes of Creation yet. I thought I came up with that on my own. But yes, I think that that's a really cool way to do it. In OSRS, people can visit other houses. They have a bunch of teleports, displays, special store, healing station, spellbook swap, teleport creation tools. That sounds awesome. I've not played OSRS in years. Many, many years. So how does that work though? They're instanced, right? They must be. How do you visit someone else's house? Do you just have to know them? You have to be like on your friends list and you just visit them, or can you just visit anyone's house? Trying to make housing meaningful in an MMO is hard. Physical locations in the game world. People metagaming, taking up spots. Entire guilds taking up meta locations. How to deal with that. It's an absolute mess. The renting system kicking people out. I mean, yes, it can work, but she's so much to do. Yes. Agreed. In Ashes, you can just visit any node. It's not instanced. Yeah, I love that. I think that's honestly, I'm going to try to convince Moz into just going that route if we get that far. Because I think individual housing for individual players is just not a good way to handle it. I just think there's not a meaningful way to do it, you know? Like, it just feels like, and we'll see how Midnight works, you know? We'll see Midnight long before we ever get to building housing in our game. But like, we'll see how Midnight feels and if it comes out well. But I just think, I don't know. I personally think housing is just a waste of development time. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think the guild hall thing is even necessary, but I think it does create a really cool social aspect, right? If you can see the guild halls out in the world, you know, and visit them and everything, especially there's like perks and maybe like, you know, guilds can choose to like open up their halls or different locations inside their hall to like visitors and stuff, so players can come in and use their vendors or whatever. Like maybe you pay a tax to use their vendors, maybe you pay a tax to like use their teleports, whatever. Like that kind of stuff is really cool, and having a lot of cool features like that, like a stable and stuff, like is cool. And then like players can like work toward having that hub, you know. Maybe they can even like teleport back to their guild hall every hour or something like that, you know. The classic WoW does it. That would be really cool. Housing isn't meaningful enough or hasn't been done good enough from what I can tell. Yeah. Or for what it could be. Yeah. Agreed. Housing potential, but to make it work in an MMO requires a lot more to take into account. Agreed. Yeah. So Moz comes from a Ultima Online background, so I think his whole take would be like how Ultima does it. Or no, there's another game. He was having another game that did it. He'll probably pop in and tell me in a second. He's probably listening to this. But anyway, yeah, like I don't know, he had some good ideas. My problem is like I just don't love the idea of having like ramshackle like player housing just like scattered throughout the world, you know? And I don't like the idea that like players have to like bid on like plots or like fight for them or whatever. Like I think that if there's going to be a system in a game, it has to be casual enough that all players can engage with it. Like I don't think it should be a thing where it's like you have to just hope or like play enough to have enough gold to like actually afford a house. You know, I just feel like that's only for like the top like 1% like elite players, and I don't like that. Like I feel like even if you're not the one running the whole guild, like you can still contribute to a guild hall and it still be an impactful part of the game for you. If you're in a guild, even if you don't know anyone else in the guild, you're just playing like totally solo and you're just joining a guild for the perks. I don't know. He played Ultima, what a G. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the whole issues that arise with housing. It's such a mess. I tried making housing work in my MMO. It's not fun. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Like, I just don't think there's enough value for the development time. Okay. Somewhere managed threat. There's a breakpoint here. I already had those open. Wait, did I? Wait, we do have their trap being stored. So I think there's two systems at play here. I think somewhere along the line, and I swear I set this up while Joe was on the team still, and Joe's the one that built this. But somewhere along the line, I built a local threat system. It's local to each player. And then you can get access to it from the AI. And I just don't think that's being handled here at all. I think this is entirely separate. But also, I don't know if this is even working anymore. So much faster to test in single player. So we'll just do single player until we actually find it, and then we'll switch to multiplayer when we test it. Tangerine. Yeah, but like having an instance cosmetic only housing system, it sounds like cool, but at the same time, like what's the point of it? You know, like if it's cosmetic only and it's instant so other players can't see it, then it's like, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of development work for something that really doesn't do anything. Okay, this is obviously not triggering. Nothing is using this component. So, our controller, I mean, nothing is using this controller. So this is deprecated. Let's stop here. Let's just throw a comment on this and say, I think this is deprecated. I hate this. This is the AI stuff is such a damn mess in this project. Like half the stuff I find, I'm like, okay, this is where this thing is done. And I sit and like tweak it or whatever, change things. And I'm like, why is this not working? And then pretty soon I'm like, okay, let's put a breakpoint on here. Oh, it's not working. Why is this not showing up anywhere? Oh, okay. So this probably just doesn't work. This is deprecated, right? And then like, there's sometimes where like things just are not working. I don't think they're working. So I think, okay, this must be deprecated too. And then I like unhook it or whatever. And then something breaks like 3 days later. And I'm like, how did I not notice this before breaking? That doesn't happen as often though. Okay, so I don't think that's AI NPC. Here's a Joe AI NPC, ASC NPC. Exact same function, just duplicated to a new, this one's AIC NPC, this one's Joe AIC NPC. Which one are we using? Who knows? Why didn't we delete the old one when we no longer used it? Who knows? I bet you money this one doesn't work either. This is the stuff that like irks me about the AI stuff in this game. And I love Joe and he's really smart and I love like what he built, but like I really wish he had just deleted all the shit that he wasn't using anymore because it's so much harder to like work with now. He just added a ton of tech debt to the project. And then bailed. Okay, this is also not triggering anywhere. I really love that effect though. It's such a cool ability. Players are gonna like go nuts for that. Yeah, this one's also not working. So let's stop here. What else we got? Base creature, init threat. This is ZZ old. This is probably deprecated too. Like, why is this called ZZ old? Who knows, right? Player health bar, perception, threat level. Break struck target data. BPI AI. Health bar. AIC generic. Here's threat. Calculate threats. Filter perceived actors. Let's go to calculate threats. Okay, this is where I think the threat's actually being done. Local threat array. I wonder what this means. And we're clearing it anyway. So we're adding a local threat array. We're creating a local threat array based on what? Local keys, which is actors. I'm assuming, yeah, target data. Okay, so we're getting target data, breaking that, storing it in local keys. Looping through it, and then adding a new threat for each one. And then I'm assuming we're checking to, yeah, max float array. Get that index, find that actor. That's the new target actor. Okay, let's see if this is actually working then. Hey. We all built like 15 different threat systems. This one's also not triggering. Hold on, let's... I feel like this one's actually working. Yeah, this one is actually on here, but it's not like... Let's just put it on one guy, I guess. Can I not hit them? It's not triggering. Maybe it only triggers once when we... try to figure out who to fight? I don't know. Is this not actually doing anything? Let's just put a print on it. Sometimes I don't trust the breakpoints. Like, I really think this is actually triggering. Or maybe this doesn't work. I remember playing with this though. Like, I've definitely tweaked this a lot. But it's a little wild because this is like how we're accumulating threat. Are we even getting the threat from the character? Like, are we? How are we even gaining threat? Like, we don't care about how much damage is coming in. This is also just calculating threats, but like still, we have accumulated damages. That's it. So we're only getting threat from accumulated damages. So all of the threat stuff that we built in, like, all that stuff doesn't do anything. If this is even working. This doesn't look like it's working, so... let's find out. What's up, Gamma Rip? Big fan? What are you a big fan of? Swords of Magic? I don't see any prints for this. So this doesn't work either. So just one more system that's actually deprecated and not even working. This is nuts. My comments are getting more and more angry as we go. Okay. Like, how is this possible? This is not working though, because this is definitely the... I guess it just doesn't work. Does any of this work? Refresh targets. Perception update. Let's see if these trigger. Of all, you're just a big fan of everything. If you're a fan of everything, does it make you a fan of nothing? Okay, this one's working. So where is this perception update? That's... Wait, where was it? Here. This must be happening, right? Is this not happening? Enemy found? Or our target data is greater than 1. Okay, so we have no enemy yet, that's why. What? We must have this on a character that hasn't seen this yet. I find this hard to believe. I know one of these guys is... These guys are all looking at me right now. Right? Maybe not. Maybe these are crabs in the world. This is AIC generic, right? Let's see if the crabs have. They use AIC base. So it's gotta be our NPCs. Outbreak is finishing. Also AIC base. This was triggering. So what's triggering this? If nothing is using this controller. Or maybe this enemy found just doesn't do anything. We're setting it to false here. Setting it to true here. Get target faction level. Received actors. Okay, let's try this again. I don't know what's going on here. You have no perceived actors. I'm gonna move this to the screen. Sorry, you guys aren't getting to see this. Every single one of these characters is looking at me, and we still have no perceived actors. Can I want to... How do I get to them? Oh. How am I supposed to know where they are? Can I not do this? These are goblins. The goblins are using the generic one. So we have multiple threat systems. Excellent. Oh. These are like not even goblins that should be like doing anything. Are these even enemies? What are these? These were just like... They're actual like goblins. Wow. Oh, we're using these. These could straight up be... just skeletal meshes sitting up here. Anyway, okay. Okay, well, that's not the one. I mean, we'll have to... They're gonna have to work too, so I don't know how that's gonna work, but... Let's put a comment on this. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's over here. I closed it. I should just... Here, let's just do this. Should we just rename this? Is this a dumb idea? Screw it, we're doing it. Oh man. Should we just pretend like threat's working and it's just some magical system that people don't quite understand? So they're like, oh, how did I lose threat? That's weird. I wonder what happened. And we'll be like, oh yeah, there's just something about the other guy they just didn't like. And we just hand wave it away and we move on and just fix the other bugs instead. I'm gonna fix that issue. Oh yeah, stealth doesn't work. Stealth doesn't work against bears. Last I checked. Why bears? I have no idea. Okay, let's move on. Okay, well, we've definitely passed wherever this AI thing is. I'm not even sure, like, how are we even determining who to attack? Maybe we're not even using threat, like, in any of these things. We have calculate threat here. We have make target data. Maybe it's just not this, but this. Do we think this is working maybe? This might explain some like things. If you start inside the trespass zone, it doesn't trigger. Nope. Who knows if any of this even works? These guys are using base. So this is the controller they're using for sure. The question is like, is there anything to do with threat in here? Just this, which does nothing. But if we put a print here, nothing happens either. So we're not actually calling this anywhere. This is not being used anywhere. So this controller has nothing to do with the threat. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we actually are using this somewhere. Here. This does say old. Oh, we checked this though. Didn't we? Getting threat from. Is this actually working? Using this to get the target threat weight, which seems like an odd roundabout way to handle it. I mean, what isn't odd and roundabout in this project? Ugh. Oh, that one triggered. There's only 5 though. Okay, let's turn this off. Okay, no target. Okay, so some NPC probably saw us. What is this? Get off my screen. Thank you. Oh. Okay. That was a watch thing. Okay. Get threat bonus. PP player character. 0. Okay, let's stop this right here. Let's print this. I need to turn off all these prints. Okay, they're seeing my threat. Well. 0.69. Yeah, so I had 2 threat, and I was right. Well, typed the wrong thing. Okay, so no, this is working. Let's unhook this for now. So get threat bonus. We add that to all these things. Oh. 4 to 1. We're checking their distance. If they're near 0 to 3,000, we scale from 4 to 1. That's an insane amount of threat because we're only getting up to like 2 and we're like hammering on them. Let's switch this down to 1. Not even that. Let's do like 0.8. Honestly, maybe we should just scale this to 0 though. That's fine. And then this one is time last perceived. We definitely don't want this to be 5. We want this to be, oh wait, 0 to 5 seconds. That's right. Okay, so this should be like, maybe this is fine. We just don't want this to be such an impact on like threat. Because this would mean that as soon as a player is like over 3,000 units away, like they were getting like 4 threat bonus, which means unless you were in combat for like 30 seconds and like really going to town, you wouldn't have had that much threat to accumulate. So you'd lose threat as soon as you get too far away from them. So this is less of an impact now. It also means that, yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then what else do we have here? This one, threat bonus, plus this, plus custom target threat weight. I'm assuming this is getting 0 because I'm pretty sure this isn't working. We're also putting the same target as the actor in here. This seems like a stupid idea. Like, what is this supposed to be? Wish we left notes, comments, and things. Oh my god, we're almost been live for 4 hours. I gotta get out of here soon. This seems like it should be working. This right here, like, this is working how I expected it to. I think it was this that was causing that was throwing it off so much. And then get target actor. Is this the local eval actors? Meaning we're gonna give you, you're gonna get more threat because it's your current target by 10%. And then if this threat, this new threat is greater than the current local score, then we set the new score. We set the new target. All right, I'm gonna trust that's working. Okay, let's see if this feels better now that we've changed this from 4 to 0.8. I would just mean you'd have to have so much threat before it actually did anything. This is so hard to tell in here too. Like we really need to like test this in an actual like environment. Like in a dungeon setting or something. Or like the goblin camp or something. Which also, this isn't going to work for the goblins because they use a different controller. Yay. I go modify that too. Okay, no trespassing. Am I not trespassing? Okay, I have 0.6 threat. 0.8. Okay, and I have a ton of threat. Alright, I think this is working way better now. Like the other guy has 0 threat, so he should be only getting threat based on his distance and the last time I saw him. And I should have more for the last time I saw them. So the only thing that they should be getting threat from him for is just distance, pretty much. Everything else should be even. Though it would be nice. Oh, that guy gave up. Oh, they all gave up. Okay, I have a little bit. Nope, I don't have any threat left. Okay, let's get some. Oh, please don't crash. Please just hang for a second. Okay, good. Oh, that's why the other guy died. Okay, hard to test. I think it's working. It felt like it was working. I think when I left the zone, or no, you know what happened? When you leave that trespassing, or you enter that trespassing zone, it starts a timer, and after that timer, your threat, or not threat, but like your trespassing whatever ticks off or decays. It must have dropped below a threshold, so that wasn't a target anymore. So I'm guessing that's why they switched and immediately went to the different target. But I think it feels better. I think we're gonna have to like really test it in multiplayer. So I'm gonna say taunt is, check that off to be tested. Okay. I'm gonna go take a break. So it's 2 o'clock. Thank you guys for hanging out today. I appreciate it. Let's save everything. I'll be back Thursday. Probably work on this a little more. I'm actually hoping I'll have all these finished up by then, and we'll hope maybe we work on MMO on Thursday. We'll see what happens. We'll see where we're at. Maybe if we luck out, we'll work on some dungeon stuff, because how cool would it be if we could actually launch a dungeon, even if it's just the spider dungeon, with skill trees, with Frostfall. That would be huge. That'd be really cool. But anyway, awesome. Thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I'll catch you next time. We're not gonna raid anyone today. We're just gonna end the stream. Sorry about that. But we can do this though. I thought I could do this, but I don't think it's gonna work. Nope. Okay. Anyway, all right. Catch you guys later. Bye.